Dave Kane with Kane and Company is coming up shortly. And like I said, get your blood just simmering now, because by the time he's done, it will be boiling. Everybody, Lou Polner, thanks you for allowing me to be with you today. Take care.
I'm Colleen Lima, WPRO First News. It's 10:05. Kane and Company with your host, Dave Kane, is up next on News Talk Radio 630 WPRO.
No, what is that? Survivors? What is that? Survivors what?
Survivors Outreach Services.
Is that like a new Richard Hatch group that they got going there? No, I guess not. Mr. Rogers going online? Mr. Rogers going on the net.
I think he's already online.
Is he?
I think so.
Can you say
PBS?
delete? Can you say garbage in, garbage out? I knew you could.
Kane and Company is adult in nature and is not suitable for all audiences. The content of this program is one that a truly free society would not attempt to censure or suppress.
437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one mobile phone. You and me on the radio until when? Until 1 o'clock this afternoon. How are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I was supposed to have some music there, but it didn't work. I hate that when that happens. I hate that when that... All right, give myself some music here. That little sucker didn't work. Hello, you. It's me on the radio until 1 o'clock.
You and me.
And Lou Polner has left the building, boys and girls. He has left the building.
Other people would like.
Actually, he hasn't left the building. Let me get a hold of him, because anytime I get a chance to talk to a lawyer for free, it's something that's very unusual. Good morning, Mr. Polner. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Mr. Kane. How are you?
Very well. I just wanted to say howdy.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I just need you to know that I enjoy listening to you.
Yeah, you're the one.
Well, actually, there are 3 or 4 people other than me who I talk to regularly who sit there and are inspired by the nature and extent of the conversations you have with your listeners.
I can imagine. What is your take, real quick, what is your take on the stuff going on in Florida legally?
Legally. I don't know if there's any quick, short answer legally. I just think it's a tremendous mess. I do not think it is helping our nation at all. And I listened to you the other day, and I agree with you. Let who wins be the one who people voted for.
Yeah.
I think the major concern I have right now is just a constituent, is the fact that out of 100 million voters, we are equally divided in this country. That speaks more about us as a people.
And that's why it's more important to make sure we get the count right, too. And that's exactly why.
I mean,
right?
if this was any type of a business, as opposed to the presidency of the United States, I think what we'd have here is 2 people running this country together, and that would be the compromise.
Yeah, a little parliamentary thing going on.
Exactly.
Coalition government. Well, it works so well in Israel.
Okay. Well, that'll get your hour started, Dave.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's me, buddy. I think that's my buddy Lou Polner. Good guy. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Well, what do you want to talk about? I have my little ad-libs here. And I didn't write anything down today. I didn't have anything because I figured you'd want to talk about the election process. And yesterday, Dan York was on at 9, and we went until 5. I took it over at 1. And the lines were jammed. I mean, what is that? Jammed up and jelly tight? Is that what they say? I mean, they were just straight out for the entire time. And so maybe you didn't get a chance to get in there, or maybe you're watching Meet the Press right now and you don't care about here. But if you are listening to this show and you would like to, well, of course you're listening to the show, you hear me right now anyway. But if you would like to make a comment on what's going on, I'd love to hear from you at 437-0630, 1-800-321-977. Anything else, including the Jai Young information on the Jai Young grand jury problem. The grand jury testimony coming out with Jai Young. And also, we can talk about, yesterday was Veterans Day. Nobody really spoke about Veterans Day too much yesterday, and I think we should be doing that. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. I don't know where Rick went. Oh, there he is. Okay. And if you'd like to get on the line, Rick Shaw is answering phones today at 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 on your cellular one. All righty. Also, I want to tell you a couple of things. First of all, Santa is arriving at Warwick Mall. Santa is arriving at Warwick Mall this Saturday at 10 a.m. in the food court. You don't want to miss this. This is terrific. Santa sings and tells stories and dances and even signs a song for the deaf. I mean, it's a lot of fun. And it's been happening in Warwick Mall for many years now, and you want to join us. The 18th, it's this Saturday coming, Saturday the 18th at 10 o'clock, Santa arriving at Warwick Mall in the Warwick Mall food court. Come on and join us. You'll be glad you did. We'll have such a great time. Bring the grandkids, bring the kids. We'll have some fun. Bring yourself. Get to be a kid again for a while. All righty? Bob is in Coventry kicking stuff off on WPRO. Hi, Bob.
Morning.
Hi.
That 13,000 or 19,000 votes that have been discarded, they're going to include them?
I don't think a determination has been made yet as to what, because those are the ones that are like, they know there's definitely some kind of problem with them. They're not sure what they are.
Okay, my question is, when they rework all these, are they doing president only, or could this also affect all of the
No, they're
people
just
in the community?
No, they're just dealing with the presidential race, because the presidential race is the one that's being contested.
But all these little Mrs. Golden and all those little old ladies who want their vote to count, you think they'd want it to count for senator and count?
Well, no, it will. They're not. Those are not being challenged. Only the presidential vote is being challenged. In other words, the other votes will stand.
Correct, but maybe if they included these.
Yeah. Well, but that's not. Yeah, but that wasn't where. What I'm saying is, you're right. But what I'm saying is that, in other words, if they let that ballot by, I see what you're saying.
No, I understand.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and I understand now.
There was a little flim-flam right from the beginning.
Well, maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. But I understand what you're saying. That in other words, if the vote for president gets tossed, all of the votes get tossed. That's your point, right?
Either that, or maybe the mayor of that community might be overthrown, because the 13,000 votes might go the other way.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's an interesting question, but I think they feel they have bigger fish to fry at that point. If the ballot is, I think that if the ballot is considered okay, then the vote will also go to the other offices too. But if for some reason they disqualify the ballot,
fine. If it's disqualified, it's disqualified.
Right.
They're going to accept it.
Yeah.
That it should go for.
Yeah, I think that would be the case. Yeah, I think that would probably be the case, Bob. I would certainly hope so, because you make a very good point that there's more than just the president on it.
Which might overpower the purpose of having such a messed up affair in the first place.
What do you mean, overpower?
Well, maybe this was all engineered so they can control what's going on in Florida.
Nah, I don't see that happening. I mean, I'm not a conspiratist, attitude person, so I don't really see that happening. But I just think they've just have a lousy way of doing their voting down there. I don't think it has anything to do with conspiracies,
Oh, okie doke.
All right, Bob, thanks a lot. 437-0630. Want to say good morning to all police and fire personnel, civil service, healthcare employees, and my little buddy Chris. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock this afternoon. 437-0630. 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 on your cellular one. My questions to you today. First of all, let's chat a little bit about, if you'd like, or unless you're chatted out, maybe you've finally decided, that's it, I have nothing else to say about the election. Which would be fine with me, because I'm sure we can find something else to talk about. But the other question I have for you is, if you do have something to chat about, let's get there and get some information. Okay, you and me? Alrighty, 437-0630. You can jump in, tell me about what you're thinking on this. I do want to thank my friends at Crognali Bakery. Now, this morning I was able to stop over at Crognali's on Douglas Avenue in the Town and Country Plaza, and they had for me a box of strip pizza that right now Rick Shaw is personally devouring. I've tried to get him to let somebody else have at least one slice, but it's not working. I don't know. I'm going to have to go slap his wrist, I guess. But in any event, there is terrific pizza. Now, Crognali's, by the way, was voted by Rhode Island Monthly as having the best strip pizza in Rhode Island. And boy, it's still. Now, this is not something I would normally have for breakfast. I mean, when I was younger, I would eat anything. But nowadays, I'm an old man now. But I had a piece this morning, and boy, it really is delicious. And I got Colleen to partake, and Rick, and the people over at Score. So listen, if you would like to taste some great strip pizza, and better than that even, if you would like to taste general bakery items that are just going to make your mouth water, you want to try Crognali's Bakery. They've been around in Rhode Island since 1917. No, lady, they've cooked bread fresh since then. But, I mean, listen, they've been around 83 years in the state, and Joe Mega bought it in 1976, so he's going to be celebrating 25 years as the owner of Crognali's Bakery, and they have 5 great locations. Here they are. Listen to this. 11 Newark Street at the corner of Valley in Providence. Reservoir Avenue, 567 Reservoir Avenue in Cranston. Newman Avenue in East Providence at 237 Newman Avenue. Charles Street in Providence, 805 Charles. And the Douglas Avenue Crognoli's Bakery, which is in the Town and Country Plaza at 1342 Douglas Avenue in Providence. Boy, I'm telling you, you're going to love this place. Great food. I'm talking, calzones that are so full. Italian, handmade Italian bread. It's all natural. You're going to love it. Crognoli's Bakery. Check them out. Tell them that Dave Kane sent you when you go in there. You are going to love it. And Rhode Island's best strip pizza at Crognoli's Bakery. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. So listen, when you call today and Rick answers the phone, if you hear, you'll know what he's got in his mouth.
Kane and Company. WPRO. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO.
Could you be
Star 630 on your cellular one.
It's a neighborly day in this.
The world has changed. If you knew a man like Mr. Rogers in your neighborhood today, you wouldn't let the kids anywhere near.
I have always wanted
Howdy,
to
neighbor.
have a neighbor. Just
George is on his cell phone on WPRO. Hi, George.
How you doing this morning?
Good, thank you.
Listen, I don't have much time, so I'm going to make this quick.
Okay.
Mary Madeline.
Mary Matlin. Yeah.
On Crossfire a couple of days ago, she was talking about the 19,000 ballots down there that they said that people had mismarked.
Right.
She said she called a polling place down there, and she found out that those were ballots that had been mismarked, had been turned in, and people were reissued new ballots. And yet nobody seems to want to follow that up and talk about it.
Well, I'll be glad to do that. What's the point?
Well, the point is they're saying that part of the reason that they want a hand recount down there is to vilify those 19,000 ballots.
Well, first of all, no, that's not true, because what they're saying, no, that's not it at all. They said they want to recount. They want to make sure it's really a good count. Now, right now, I think he just picked up another 19 votes, Gore, right?
Yeah.
So I think that actually the 19,000 seem to be a moot point for the time being. They want to recount, and then they're going to talk about these 19,000. They haven't even gone there yet.
But that's what I'm saying. If right now it comes out that those 19,000 ballots were actually turned in and people were allowed to re-vote, then it's going to take some of this off the. Look, I got to go on. I can't even listen to this.
Okay, George. All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right. Well, the thing about that is that we had an election official call us yesterday, and she was, a matter of fact, she corrected me on something. She told me that what happens is with these ballots is that they are all numbered, they're all marked, they're all whatever, and so they have to account for every single ballot. They can't just, as I had said, take a ballot and just destroy it and give you another one. It's got to be it's got to be accounted for. So that's something. Alrighty. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. And listen, if you know somebody who's out of state who would like to listen to us and jump in here, they can listen on www.630wpro.com and click on the icon to get the audio, as did Ms. Amy. Howdy.
I've been listening on the net.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
You know what I've been thinking about the election, because I'm tired of all the usual stuff?
Yep.
It sounds like a joke, but it's really not, okay?
Yeah.
Where's Jeb going to have Thanksgiving dinner?
Why?
We're talking about the brother that couldn't deliver, and where couldn't he deliver?
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah. And
I wonder if family values the Republican banner.
But the reality is this, though. How can you really blame this guy? I mean, if this guy delivered, as an example, every Republican vote.
How can you not blame him? I mean, imagine if this had happened in New Hampshire or Rhode Island or someplace in New England where we have a long tradition of nepotism.
Yes.
And it's like John Kennedy not having taken Massachusetts.
Uh-huh.
And I really wonder what kind of conversations are going on around the dinner table about how Jeb did. Is this Jeb's fault?
Well, Bush was on the other day. The old man was on. He said, I'm very proud of my boy, and very proud of him, the way he's
handling.
What's he
going to say? George did fine. Jeb's a schmuck?
Exactly. Actually,
1 for 2 isn't bad.
but the scuttlebutt is that Jeb is the bright one.
Oh, well, then this is really dismal.
No, but that the scuttlebutt is that he is the one that really should have been the candidate, and not W.
All right. So
I mean, I don't know anything about either. I don't know anything about Jeb, so I'm just telling you what I've been
All right.
listening
So
to.
Jeb's the candidate. Would things have happened differently in Florida?
Who knows? No, if Jeb was a candidate, would he have taken Texas? That's the question.
Oh, well, Al blew Tennessee and Arkansas.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you... Now, there's another one. How about his Thanksgiving? I mean, I mean, he blew his own state.
Oh,
Hello?
please. I mean, he's got to be delivering dinners at the Salvation Army on Thursday.
What is the matter with this boy? That can't even deliver his own state?
Yeah.
You've been vice president. You haven't been able to do anything for those people, so they want to keep you in that up there?
Yeah, well, it's like when Dukakis ran for president.
Yeah.
Everybody in Massachusetts voted for him to get him the hell out of the state. At least in Washington, he can't do it to us anymore.
Say goodbye.
All right.
I'll let you get something else.
No.
Okay, thanks,
Goodbye.
Larry. Bye-bye. Larry is in North Attleboro. Hi, Larry.
Hi, how are you today?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I wanted to make a point about the man that had called up about 2 callers ago.
Yeah.
Those people actually, if they got issued another ballot, would have been allowed to vote twice.
No. Because those... Well, if they're going to... Yes, if... You're right. If they decide that any of those ballots are kosher...
Yes.
Then in that case, it would be the case. So I'm not sure. See, that I don't have any information on that. Right. But it doesn't seem to me that they would be, quote, 19,000 ballots if they were given new ones. Okay. In other words, they wouldn't count them as questionable ballots because they were turned in for viable ballots.
Okay, so they would put those in a separate pile, whatever.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely set aside. Now there's a lot of scuttlebutt going on about whether first of all, 19,000 people didn't all get new ballots. Number one.
Okay.
Because if they did, there wouldn't have been the scream.
Right.
Right. Secondly, if some of them did, then that's got to be addressed certainly. And you're right about the double vote.
Yes. Okay. The other thing, I think it's got to all be resolved after the 17th when those absentee ballots are counted. If it keeps on going on after the 17th, then I think we're really in trouble.
Why?
Well, the thing is that I'm listening to the TV and I'm listening to other talk shows.
Yeah.
And, there's so many scenarios that can happen.
Yeah, but why would we be in trouble? We're trying to appoint the President of the United States, and unless we do it correctly...
Oh, I want to do it correctly, yes.
So, I don't see how we... this thing about being in trouble, it's like the Bush camp, trying to make it look like we got to, do it right away because the house is on fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a problem with that. Yesterday we had a conversation about, we live in a fast food society, right? Drive-through restaurants, pizza in 30 minutes or less, yada, yada, yada. And the trouble is that we have not, we're not used to waiting and working stuff out. I had a guy call me yesterday, he said, I don't care who it is, I just want to know.
Do you agree with everything do you agree with everything that's going on with the courts, though? All the lawyers down
Well, I don't know enough about it, but it is all lawful. In other words, the measures that these people are taking are lawful.
Okay.
The problem I think they're going to run into, though, is that the states have sovereignty as to their voting.
Yeah.
And the fact that Bush applied in or went to federal court, I think the federal court is going to deny it because I don't think the federal court will get into a position of telling states how to run their voting.
I agree with that because Janet Reno is, she went down there or whatever, but she's staying completely out of it.
Yeah, there's a separation of powers here, and it's, and it's funny because it was the South that wanted it so drastically during the Civil War, right? Also, it's interesting to see, and it is really interesting to see that Mr. Bush says he trusts the people,
right?
And yet he's not allowing the people to be heard.
Yes.
I'm not jumping ugly with Mr. Bush there. I'm not a Gore supporter on this. I'm just making observations here.
Right.
If you really trust the people and if you really trust the system and you believe in the system, then what are you afraid of a recount for? You either won or you didn't.
Do you think both candidates should be staying behind the scenes the way they are now, or should they be coming out and making...
No, I think that they should be I think they should be both playing touch football, frankly. I think they should, they've got people that'll jump ugly, Okay. The trouble is that sometimes your spokespeople use phrases and say things you wish they didn't, because it does reflect on you.
Yes.
And let's get it unemotional. Yesterday it was hard to do. I tried to make it unemotional, nonpartisan. Let's just talk about the overall issue, which is I want to know who the president is for real.
Right. Right now, I don't really particularly care if my candidate did win.
Yeah.
I just want to have the next president.
Well, I want to have the next president, but I want it to really be whoever it is.
Right.
I want to go to bed at night when this is decided and say, the guy won.
Right.
Rather than go, yeah, well,
But it is amazing that it's so close.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
With the millions of votes being cast, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And I think this is, as everybody said, it shows you how the lines of demarcation have been put down. And but boy, it's tough. I mean, this is history you're living through.
Yes.
I mean, it's absolute history. People have to realize it's like, God forbid, it's like, forgive me for making the analogy, but it's like the assassination of Kennedy, or Luther King. You're watching history in the making. They'll talk about this, and this will be in history books for years and years and years.
Yes. Yes.
So it's all right, buddy. Thanks a lot for your call.
Okay, have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. It is time for the news. If I can just get somebody to have some respect and look my way. Just somebody to just show that they know they're about. I mean, I can't get any. Put down that pizza.
Thanks, Dave. It's down. And I'm Colleen Lima, WPRO First News.
Okay, you can finish your pizza now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sunday, Monday.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO, star 630 in your cellular one. Okay, get your pens out. Get your pens out. Get ready, because I have a feeling we got a lucky number coming up. Hang on, here it comes. I got a feeling.
Gray sky.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO. And Jeff is in Tiverton. Hello, Jeff.
Good morning, Dave.
How are you, buddy?
Good.
Hey, listen, Jeff. Did you give Rick the numbers?
No.
Good. Don't ever give him the numbers.
I got the good ones.
Yeah, you got the good ones. Now I'm up to $3, Jeff.
It's going to be $72 million.
I know. Now, Jeff, do you buy the tickets? Do you buy?
Yes.
You do?
This time we're going to hit. I know it. 02.
Hold on, wait a minute. Huh? Let me get my pen. All right. Ready? 02.
06.
06.
24.
24.
Number 31.
31.
Number 41.
41.
And the Powerball number 30.
30. All right. Now let me make sure, Colleen, do you have this number? You're writing these numbers down? Because I want us all to be it's going to be 72 million, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Here we go.
02.
02.
06.
06.
24.
24.
31.
31.
41.
41.
And the big one, number 30.
The big one, number 30. Girls I used to date used to call me the big one, Jeff. What?
On Veterans Day.
Yeah.
I think the best veteran around is
Salty Brine. All right, Jeff.
And is Santa Claus going to be at the mall?
Santa Claus is arriving at 10 o'clock November the 18th at Warwick Mall, Jeff.
Salty Brine going to be there?
I don't know. I'll have to look and see.
He used to always greet Santa.
Oh, that's right, he did. Well, that's right, he did, yeah.
Let me know, and I'll email you sometime. You can let me know.
Okay, buddy.
Nice talking to you.
All right, thanks for the numbers, Jeff. Bye. Here I am at $3 down every 3 weeks now. I'm so cheap. I realize I'm cheap, but it's going to be $3 now for these freaking numbers. Jeez. Bob is in Warwick on WPRO. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
I'm a first-time caller.
Good to have you.
Good, thanks. I just wanted to make a comment. I've been watching, obviously, a lot of the news channels, CNN and whatnot, and Daily and Warren Christopher out.
Yeah.
Pretty much their mantra seems to be the will of the people. We need to find out what the will of the people is. And the more you listen to what's going on, there seems to be a margin of error on voting, unfortunately, in this country. And I'd like to see them press, if they're really that concerned with the will of the people, they should want to recount the whole country, because there could be other districts and other states that there's the same problem. And obviously, they wouldn't want to count anywhere they're not going to win.
Well,
but, they're saying the will of the people.
Well, where there usually is a count is usually when it's close. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the reason they do that is because in most cases, recounts don't change measurably. I think somebody said yesterday, approximately 10%.
Right.
So the reason they don't do them where they're not, really close is for that purpose.
Well, I think when you look at nationwide, there's a lot of places that could be very close all of a sudden on recounts.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's why, I mean, I understand from a political point of view, obviously they're not going to suggest anything they think is not going to work for them. But it's just funny that you see a lot of people protesting and whatnot.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so important to see the will of the people. You got to worry about the will of people everywhere, because for all I know, I voted, and I did vote for George Bush. I think I voted for George Bush.
Yep,
for all I know, if they really pulled that ballot out after I did it, maybe I marked the wrong candidate.
Yep.
And I think if you, I heard something on the news last night about these particular voting machines, or just like when they take a poll before the election, they talk about that plus or minus margin error.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the system we have intact at this point in our country is far from perfect, but they do deal with margins of error. And I think it's so close, split down the middle, it really, across most of the country, that a few votes here or there in any state could be different.
All right, you're starting to break up. I got to let you go, but I appreciate your call.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Laura is in North Dartmouth. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Good, honey. How are you?
I'm terrific.
What's up?
Not me.
Me either. Me either.
No, this thing of this election is driving me crazy. I know I'm never going to vote again.
Well, that's horrible.
Why? Well, I'll be 6 feet under. How can I vote?
You're not going to be 6 feet under. Cut the baloney.
Come on, I'm going to be 80 next July.
So what? So what? So what? That's nothing.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's nothing.
Oh,
Come
really?
On. Come on. People are living longer and longer.
Oh, yeah, but no, that's all right if they're well, you know.
Oh, you shut up. Listen to you. As long as your teeth are chattering, you're alive. Let's move on.
I
What?
wanted to tell you something.
What?
I was listening to the election returns when they gave Gore the Florida.
Yeah.
And it wasn't not 5 minutes later. Oh, he doesn't have it. There's a glitch. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I know.
There's a glitch. I wonder who made the glitch.
I have no idea, but it's immaterial right now. The thing is we're in the recount.
Well, I hope Gore wins.
Well, I'm sure you do.
Oh, I do. He makes a wonderful president.
All right, Andy. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Leslie's in Smithfield.
Hello,
NWP.
Dave. How
Hello.
you doing?
How are you?
Oh, I am inundated with brother and 3 buddies.
Okay.
They arrived last night about 9 o'clock. They're here until Thursday or Friday.
Get rid of them.
I can't do that.
Tell them to get
brother.
out. Tell them to get out.
That's my brother.
Tell them to get out.
And it's 3
Tell them
buddies
get
who are
out.
going to help him.
Just say get out.
Yeah, right.
Get out.
You don't know my brother.
What were you complaining about?
He's a lot like me.
Huh?
He's a lot like me.
Oh, Christ, he'd have been out of there before you. Good Lord, talk about an overdose. All right, Guy, what's up?
Well, I just won at St. Albans Church in North Providence.
Yeah.
A complimentary gift certificate for 4 people for complimentary show cover charges for stage.
Oh,
and you know
great.
when it expires?
Tonight.
No, November 31st.
That's not a problem. Why?
That means it'll never expire.
Oh, November 31st.
And it's signed by the big kahuna himself.
Charlie. Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
So next time you see him, also, somebody didn't edit this thing. In parentheses, it says, does not include food or drinks.
Hold on a minute, okay? Oh, you hold on?
Yep.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I love it. Hello?
Hello?
Charlie?
Yeah?
Hang on a minute. Leslie?
Yep.
Tell Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. I got your gift certificate. It's gift certificate number 1, and it expires November 31st. There were only 30 days, half November.
Are we on the air or something?
We are on the air. Leslie just won from St. Albans Church. She won 2 tickets to go see a show at Stage.
Yes.
And it says it expires November 31st.
Oh, didn't you realize it's leap year?
That only affects February, Charlie.
And so you bonehead, tell them the other one, Leslie.
And in parentheses, it says, does not include food or drink. Who's your proofreader?
Oh,
does not include.
That one I did catch. That one I did catch.
No, you didn't. She's got it in front of her. You didn't catch.
But when I saw them all printed up, I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Include.
Gee, I don't know, Charlie. Maybe this is your problem.
I'm surprised it doesn't say does not include Rudolph Fink.
That too.
Well, Leslie was calling. She wanted to make sure that you, that you knew that she was ready to come to your place.
Yes.
I do know.
And I'll bring my toothbrush too.
No, you're very precise. You're very nitpicky, and you belong in Florida counting ballots.
Well, yeah. She's a member of Mensa.
Mensa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something you'd like to belong to, Charlie.
Isn't there a woman's
No, there isn't. No.
But there is. What gets me is, what is this menopause? Why isn't it womanopause?
That's true.
That's exactly right. Now, listen, how did we do last night at stage?
Actually, when I'm on stage, men and women both applaud.
Thank you very much. Let's take a pause in this whole conversation and tell Charlie we thank him. Are you awake yet? You weren't even awake yet.
No, I'm awake.
Okay.
I'm watching Tim Russert and Mary Madeline.
Well, gee, thanks very much, Charlie. That's it. I'm on the air over here, Charlie.
No, I'm just watching them, but I'm playing you in the background.
Yeah, liar.
It's funny how the words never seem to match up with
match the lips. Looks like a Japanese horror flick.
So, Charlie, my question is, since this doesn't expire until November 31st, does that mean it's good forever?
Let's not push it, hon.
Yeah, let's not get there. There'll be a problem. Everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
David, now wait a second.
Yeah, okay.
Can I do one little plug?
Yes, of course you can. Hold on a minute. Go ahead.
All right. Tonight, at my club, Stage.
Yes.
There is a fundraiser for AIDS Care Ocean State.
Oh.
They're involved with the Sunrise House and FACS and all these different things. Now it's called AIDS Care Ocean State.
AIDS Care Ocean State, right?
They have
Okay.
a huge fundraiser in my place. 200 or 300 people.
Yeah.
They're having what they call a reverse raffle, where they pull your name out of a hat, and as long as they don't keep pulling your name, you may win the final big prize, which is $10,000.
No, and how does that go? Wait a minute now. A reverse raffle.
Each ticket costs $100. Let's say they sell 200 tickets. They pull a name out of a hat.
Yeah.
They tell Dave Kane wins a gift certificate to Al Forno.
Okay.
Or something. And so you're out of the running. Your name's out.
Yeah.
And they keep pulling out names, and you keep winning great prizes, but the last person in, I guess, the last one pulled, wins $10,000.
Wow.
Tickets cost $100.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still go to the door. It's 6 o'clock tonight at my place.
6 o'clock, and it's AIDS.
It's called AIDS Care Ocean State.
And proceeds going to help AIDS patients.
Oh yeah, all that stuff. And there's a big catered thing by Violas of.
Now let me just check. Hold on. Let me just check on something here.
My God, your invitation's right here.
I don't see your. I don't see my invitation to be part of it. No.
Maybe you can do a little comedy.
No, that's okay. I mean, if I'm not going to be thought of, first of all, you weren't listening to my show. You're watching that crazy Meet the Press.
No.
Secondly, you don't invite me.
11. Does he come on?
And usually, never mind York. And not only that, but whenever I am usually the very first one you call for free stuff. The very first one. And you didn't call me for this.
No.
I know, and I know why too.
Why is that?
Because you and I bombed at the gay bingo. Well, you didn't. I did.
How many times can you call 069 in one night?
Shame on you. Tell your mother.
Are you having fun? Hey, how's anybody going to like somebody who calls Mirth York a transvestite?
I did not say that.
You did. That drag queen was Mirth York.
I did not. I said if she runs for office again, the rumors will start. That's what I said.
So she has a lead press on Adam's apple. Still, it's not really it's a woman. It's not a guy. It's Mirth York.
I never saw myself go down the tank like I did that night.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. All right, buddy.
Actually,
tonight.
I am going to call you for a fundraiser. You're the first person I have. It's at my place November 31st. So can you make it?
I'll be there. This is the one night that Leslie can come.
All the Jude and Fink you can have.
Thank you.
All right.
All the Jude and... Did you get all the Drude and Fink? 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Joel's in Worcester. Joel.
Hi, David.
Yeah.
How are you this morning?
Okay.
David, you know what's ironic in this whole thing, too?
I give up.
The Gore campaign was headquartered in Nashville, Tennessee, one of the most conservative cities in the South. And the Bush campaign is in Austin, one of the most liberal cities in the South.
Yeah.
Did you realize that before?
No.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Okay.
Austin is the capital of liberalism in Texas. When Kennedy and Johnson were with President and Vice President, it was known as the Boston and Austin axis. Because of Boston and Austin being very liberal communities. Yeah. But I wanted to speak about the Democrats in Congress who are ranting on Gore to give up any legal challenge. I think they should keep their mouth shut and let the Gore campaign do what they have to do.
Well, I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we all find out who the real president is.
I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal Democrat. But the Democrats are worried about, the midterm elections in 2002. I mean, they're worried about their own hide right now. I don't think it's going to affect the midterm elections because did the impeachment of Bill Clinton affect the Republicans this year? I mean, no way. They gained seats in the House and Senate. It's not going to affect the midterm elections. They should just keep their mouths shut.
Well, I mean, it's America. They don't have to keep their mouth shut. But, I mean, I think that we should go through this whole process and find out who the real president is and go there.
Right. That's the best way to go about it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, David. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one.
Kane and Company. WPRO.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO. And star 630 in your cellular one. And Rick came in and reprimanded me for not offering the last word. Yesterday we were so jam-packed with callers that I just wanted to move them along quickly and everything. I mean, we were just jammed for the whole 4 hours, and I apologize. And yes, the last word is still good and alive and well here on WPRO at this radio show, right? Yeah. So, if I don't... and also, the last word, by the way, was designed primarily for people with whom I disagree. We have fights, back and forth, scream fest, whatever. Rather than you getting potted down or shut off without having a chance to finish your point, I give you the last word. And so that's what that was designed for. If I have agreed with you or if we're just horsing around, there's really no need for it. But I apologize for not having used it more often. And Rick has promised to make sure that I do. He's promised to slap me around a bit if I don't do it. So I better behave myself because he's bigger than I am. 437-0. He's bigger than a lot of people. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock this afternoon. And I want to know what's on your mind. We were talking yesterday so much about the election. I thought sure that we would be election-filled today. So I really didn't. I really didn't have a lot to offer you today. And so if there's something you want to talk about, it's wide open. Anything that's on your mind. Last word is always yours. And all you need to do is hop on the line at 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. And don't forget, Santa is coming. Santa is coming to Warwick Mall this Saturday, 10 a.m. Come on down and join Santa for the very special arrival from the Worldwide SantaNet. You are going to love it. Check out Santa at Warwick Mall this Saturday morning at 10. Come on and join us. We'll have a great time, okay? Tom is on the cell phone on WPRO. Hi, Tom.
Hi. Just a comment and a question, I guess.
Yeah.
Everybody is concerned so much about the Florida and the other states and the recounts. But as of the end of last week, I understand there were as many as 5 million mail-in votes that hadn't been tallied yet.
Yeah.
And in the state of Florida, I understand there's a possible up to 15,000 military personnel sending in votes. Won't be tallied until the end of this coming week.
Yep.
In a race this close, it seems almost immaterial to be concerned about a 200-vote lead when there's still that many votes outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're exactly right that a recount should occur, but you're hearing virtually nothing about the votes that really could make the difference. And if Gore gave up the fight and Bush was granted the presidency, and then in the count of the absentee ballots, are they going to rescind that after they've awarded it to him?
Of course not. And this is why we have to wait and see what's going on. Now, there is one minor problem, the problem being that the Electoral College has to meet, I believe it's December 17th? I think so. And if they don't have all of this resolved, they may have to push that back. Because the theory was that if Mr. Gore, as an example, challenged the count and tied it up in court, then they might not be able to use the ballots from Florida, and the Electoral College would have to award the presidency based on all the other electoral votes.
Right, but once all of the mail-in ballots are tallied, we might find that one may be beating the other by 1 million votes.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens, Tom, but I'm glad you called.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. George is in Cranston on WPRO. Hi, George.
Yeah, good morning, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Dave, I've got an opinion, or opinions, but no facts.
Yeah.
And what I see, Dave, happening, what we're witnessing, is more division and more dissension in this country, to a country that is already fragmented morally, spiritually, and socially.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not by accident, it's by design. And again, this is my opinion. There happens to be a bigger entity than the United States.
Mm-hmm.
This country does not run independently. There is a larger entity that shapes and controls world events.
You're talking about the Trilateral Commission?
Well, I don't know, Dave. Huh?
The Trilateral Commission?
Well, Dave, they're an entity. What difference does it make who they are? They're a powerful force. They have to be there.
Well, it's important to know who they are.
Well, but they have to. All right, call them what you want.
Well, no, but I'm saying you're saying this. I mean, it's not somebody make believe. They are real entities.
It's an entity.
The World Bank is another one.
Yeah, that's good enough. Good enough. We'll accept that.
So what's your point, George?
Well, they control world and national and international events.
Okay.
And the world couldn't operate without them.
Okay. So your point is?
My point is that this is what they're doing, controlling international and national events.
Well, obviously, it's not being controlled very well because people are raising hell about it.
No, but you see, Dave, one more thing. Governments and ruling classes, Dave, they find little advantage in a populace that is healthy, happy, and self-controlled. They wouldn't be needed. See, they stir it up. We're all going, absolutely bonkers here because of the instability. They like instability. They like alcoholism. They like drug abuse. Mm-hmm. They like the broken-down family. Then they come out of the woodwork and they got all the answers. Well, no, they got no answers. Mm-hmm. You've got to understand how the world and the systems work, Dave. It doesn't work for the people. It works absolutely against them.
Okay. All righty, George. I don't disagree with your premise. I mean, I think that there's some good arguments to be made about that.
Well,
and,
I could take it much further.
I know, but George, I know you could, but you do a lot of thinking about this. And what happens is when you present it, I think you lose people because it's very crystal clear to you.
Well, does it sound reasonable?
It sounds reasonable, but when I think it's fine. But when you start to explain it further, that's when you start to lose people. I think that your point is well taken. That we perceive that we have control.
No, we have.
Well, no, you don't. We, most of us, perceive there's some control, but of course there isn't.
No, there isn't, Dave.
Right. Okay. Thanks a lot, George.
All right.
Bye. Dave is in Woonsocket. Hi, Dave.
Hey. Good morning, Dave.
Howdy. Morning.
I'm calling from Woonsocket,
and
I just want to know if you remember like the old days in your Blackstone Valley area.
Yeah.
And not to change the subject, but to comment on your, how much you stuck with it in the entertainment industry per se.
Mm-hmm.
And so I find that encouraging.
Oh yeah, well you got to stick to it until you run out of people to fire you.
Hopefully you don't though.
Yeah, well we'll see. I thank you for the call. I'm on other stuff, but thank you, Dave. Bye. Let me see. Claire's in North Providence. Hi, Claire, on WPRO.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Dave, I just wanted to say that the obvious division is between the Republicans and the Democrats,
Mm-hmm.
and the twain shall never meet.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just another example. Of course, it's the presidency, but we've always had recounts throughout history. There's always been recounts.
Yeah.
And all kinds of elections. I think that the point that people don't realize, or maybe don't want to focus on, especially the Republicans, is the fact that people had a problem with the voting well before we knew that Florida was going to be the deciding state.
Mm-hmm.
And those were the questions that people are trying to answer now. And I think it was the people, rather than the Democratic Party, that was more upset by the fact that they went in to vote and their votes weren't counted. And this was happening at 7:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there were signs that went up finally by 4 in the afternoon telling people that there was a concern about the ballot.
Right, and this was well before any of this. And I think that I think that the Republicans are nervous now because I think the hand count might be very, very important, and that's why they're trying to block it. But in a federal court, which has nothing to do with the state court, which is the Florida statutes allow the candidate to have them counted, hand counted, and they're just going to follow the state procedure before the federal government will get involved. And I doubt if they will intervene with the state decision.
I doubt they will too. I'm against the news here. Have you got a last word for me?
Oh no, just it's nice to hear you.
Thank you for your call.
Okay.
Let's see if I can sneak Neil in. Hi, Neil. You're on WPRO.
Hi, how you doing? I got 2 quick points that I want to make.
Okay.
The first one is this is not about the next 4 years. The next president of the United States is going to elect 3, maybe 4 Supreme Court justices.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Yep.
We're talking 20 or 30 years of legal rulings here.
Very serious.
So this is not about just the next 4 years.
Right.
The second quick point I wanted to make is I hear the Bush campaign screaming and squawking about how these votes have already been counted twice. They've been counted twice, and they came up with 2 completely different numbers.
Yes.
I don't care how many states they have to recount. I think they should recount every single state until they get the same number twice.
Yep, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think we should get this thing on the road, get cracking.
And I hear Bush saying, well, these votes have already... They conceded the fact that if there's a hand recount, that they think that Gore is going to take Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But in the next breath, they're saying that they don't think there needs to be a recount because they've already been counted twice.
All righty, I got to hold you there, Neil. I'm up against news.
All righty.
Thank you for your call.
Bye-bye.
437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock this afternoon. News time is up now with Auntie Carlene, and we'll be back with more on Kane and Company right after this.
It's 11:05. Kane and Company with Dave Kane continues on News Talk Radio 630 WPRO.
Is it just me, or should they change the name of the P Bruins? I mean, they don't say in Boston. They don't say the B Bruins. They say the Boston Bruins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they get why say the people? Every time I hear that, I think of a little league hockey, a little hockey league, a couple of kids sponsored by a urologist.
Kane and Company is adult in nature and is not suitable for all audiences. The content of this program is one that a truly free society would not attempt to censure or suppress.
You and me on the radio till 1 o'clock this afternoon. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 437-0630. Hello? 437-0630. 1-800-321-WPRO. And star 630 on your cellular one. You and me on the radio till 1 o'clock this afternoon. And if you're online, you can dial us up on the 800 number at www.630wpro.com. Just dial our 800 number in the States here, and we'll chat with you. We're talking about the election today. We're talking about the problem of this is history in the making, and this is, there are so many aspects of this that are just. Here is the part though that it's driven me nuts. Why is it that we are in such a hurry to know who the president is, regardless of who it is? In other words, it's almost like we don't care. Just give me a president. Just name somebody. Pick somebody. Pee Wee Herman. Fine. That's good. Let's do it. That'll be fine. And then you have the people who want their candidate to be the president at all costs. At all costs. It doesn't matter. And somebody explain this to me. Why is it such a bad deal to have, 9 recounts, 12 recounts, 103 recounts? Why is the recounting bad? When every time you count, you get a different number. Why is that bad? I don't understand this. And why would Mr. Bush want to stop a hand recount if he believes that he has won the state? If he really believes he's won the state, why would he fight not to have a hand count? Explain that to me. I also think that he's gone to the wrong venue. I don't think you can go, well, I guess you can, to federal court. I doubt they're going to be able to do anything about it. I'm surprised that federal court hasn't just rejected his request for an injunction outright, saying that they don't have any status here. But maybe they do. I understand, by the way, Colleen was telling me earlier that the New Mexico State Police have impounded the ballots because all of a sudden now they're down to, is it 17 votes? Is that right? Or something like that. I mean, some ridiculously low number. And now the New Mexico has impounded the ballots, I understand. So you tell me, 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Explain this to me, please. Nick is in Warwick on WPRO. Hey, Nick.
Hi. I'm only a high school student, but
Wait. Don't say you're only a high school student. Be proud of it, Nick.
all right, I'm a high school student.
Good for you. All right.
And in my civics class, we're talking about different things going on with the elections.
Yep.
And I've been hearing some different things in contradiction to what's been said in the Constitution.
Okay.
In the Constitution, it says when choosing a president that you have to have a majority of the electoral votes.
Yes.
So it's been said on TV that in the Electoral College that if they wait on Florida, if the Democrats can hold them to not be able to make a decision by December 18th when they vote, that Al Gore would win because he has the majority right now. But as it says in the Constitution that you have to have a majority of electoral votes, meaning 270. And if you don't, the presidency goes to the House of Representatives.
Mm-hmm.
And they choose on a state-by-state basis.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been saying that, and I was just, I don't know.
Well, yeah, the trouble with, and I agree with you, but the trouble with that is that I think what we're going to find is they're going, all bets are going to be off on this thing. I think there's going to be lawsuits going to the Constitution for the issue, just as you're speaking. First of all, I'm not sure that the Electoral College can't decide to postpone their meeting. In other words, do you know, even though it's in the Constitution.
Yeah, it says in the Constitution that it's
by
appointed by law.
Right, exactly. But
so they could change it if they had to, but...
Yeah, but I mean, there's that question, number one, okay? And what they do when they get in there, they could postpone, they can meet, and they could postpone a decision.
Yes.
Right? I mean, these are all the scenarios that makes this so interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And you're interested in this, Nick, at your age?
Yeah.
Good for you. Now, what is your take on all this? What do you think? What do you think we ought to do?
I think there's something fishy going on in Florida. I think, well, I'm kind of leaning towards being a Democrat. I'm not voting age yet.
Yeah.
But the different things, it seems fishy in Florida with Bush's brother being in charge down there.
Well, you got to remember that the Bush's brother doesn't have all of that much to do with it, really. And the other thing this thing about, let's assume for a moment that there's no mischief going on, as Mr. Baker suggested, and it's just human error.
Yeah, that could be it too.
We still need to straighten it out, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. What are you going to do when you get out of high school? You going to college?
Yep.
What are you going to major in?
I think I'm probably going to major in law, and then I'd like to look into politics too.
Oh, all right. Good. Well, you got off to a good start. I'm glad you called me.
All right. Thank you.
All right, buddy. See you later. Bill is on a cell phone on WPRO.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I hope you were speaking rhetorically. I didn't catch all of the young man's conversation with you just now. However, asking why the Bush camp would want to quash some of Mr. Gore's actions.
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. What I asked was, why would Mr. Bush want to stop a hand count?
Well, same thing. If you can have hand counts and then rechecks on the hand counts and all of that, and if you can go by what, as I understand it, is a deadline, then the Florida votes are simply not taken in our...
you sound like somebody that's afraid that Mr. Bush is going to lose.
Oh, no.
Well, if Mr. Bush...
Actually, I am, because I'm very much afraid of Mr. Gore.
Well, there you go. So so you've answered my question for me.
But that doesn't say why there isn't a flaw in the system.
Well, I disagree. I think the flaw in the system is the way the ballot was designed, maybe, the way the count obviously is done. I mean, you're up 12, you're down to 3, and then down another 19.
Okay.
My problem is this. I want to know who the real president is, Bill. I want to know who the real president is.
Too.
Okay.
And therefore, I'm very concerned if all it takes is for a candidate to keep protesting within a state where he is losing.
Well, the law states that, Bill. That's what the law says. He's within his rights.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But then what happens if, say, you get some really disreputable type who?
Well, we can't go to you. You're the one who was concerned about rhetorical. We can't go to hyper.
Okay.
Let's go to the reality. The reality is they want a hand count. Period. Are you against a hand count?
against the hand count, not at all, as long as it is done fairly and as long as it's not used as a technique to get the Florida voters disenfranchised. That is, as long as it's not dragged out so long.
Well, wait a minute. Dragged out to what? Dragged out to what? And pick a date.
Beyond any legal requirement.
But that's not going to happen because they're totally under the law here. You're frightened to death that your guy isn't going to win.
No, that's not it at all.
Well, if you want the real,
about my concerns.
But
about
if you
the
want
election.
if you want a real president, you shouldn't be telling me that there's a time limit on which we're going to find out the real vote.
There shouldn't be a time limit.
Okay.
There should not be a time limit, but there is.
Well, then let's change it. If there is, well, let's change it. There shouldn't be, because we're the ones running this country allegedly, right, Bill?
Yeah, right.
Well, all right. So, I mean, if we really want, this is our opportunity to make a difference here. And if we really want the real president, your guy or Gore or whoever, if we really want to go to bed at night saying we really elected this guy, then we ought to be ready to do it, whatever it takes to do it.
By the Constitution.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's going on now.
Okay, as long as the people in Florida are finally counted and not their votes just aren't thrown out because Mr. Gore has delayed and delayed.
Well, that's not going to happen. Give me your last word, Bill.
Peace.
Thank you, sir. All right, Bob is in Cumberland. Hi, Bob.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
First, I want to say I voted for Nader.
Yeah.
I was on the border of voting for Bush, but I didn't like either one of them. I liked Bush better than Gore, but I said, well, better than, the lesser of two evils.
Yep.
And I'm looking at what they're doing on the recount right now, and I watched them on TV. And they're taking the ballots and they're putting them up to the light and they're saying, well, this one's got a dimple in it, but there's, it's not pushed all the way through. Should we accept that one for Gore because it's the dimple's on Gore? And that's how they're doing it. They're counting them like that. Now, when I went into the voting booth to vote, it took me 10 or 15 minutes because I was so undecided on the presidency because I didn't like either one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm saying to myself, well, how can anyone recounting the votes by hand on a card that's not punched all the way through or not punched through say that that's a vote for that person? Because that's what they're doing. They may decide not to vote for anyone because in the race they didn't like either person, which I didn't like.
Yeah, but the thing about this is that they're doing this, and that's a debatable point, I guess. But they're doing it with both representations of parties.
Well, how can they tell a voter's intent?
I don't know
what
about
the
that.
voter. The Democrats they want to say that not only want to say that the ballots are bad, but the voters made a mistake. They want to say they're saying that they know what the voters were thinking at the time, and they want to claim the vote.
Wait a minute. Now, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. This hand count is not just Democrats doing this.
Right.
There are Republicans right there.
Right.
They are voting. They are scrutinizing as well. And the Republicans, by the way, also have the same target. Okay.
Right.
So you're going to have a ballot that has a little dimple where Bush is. Okay, and the Republicans going to want to grab that one.
Well, then why don't they do it and recount the whole state?
It's okay with me. It's okay with me.
The Republican and the it seems to me that it's extremely one-sided. And
well, you only say that because you're concerned about Mr. Gore getting in. I mean, it isn't one-sided, and this is the problem. And if it is one-sided, we should know about it.
Well, the other thing is, why don't they wait? How many times are they going to keep recounting? They've already recounted.
Everybody keeps saying that to me, and I want to. You tell me why you wouldn't do it until you get a real count.
Well, the thing is you have the machine.
Bob, who cares how many times? You tell me. Don't you want? Here's the analogy I made yesterday. Okay, you're going out to dinner. All right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. You got, I don't know, whatever you got in your pocket, and you take it out and you count your money to make sure you got enough to eat. And you count it twice, and you're $10 off. Are you going to count it a third time?
I count my money once, and I'm usually right. I mean,
well, how do you know if you didn't count it twice? Wait a minute, Bob. You don't know if you're right if you didn't. Bob.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're right if you didn't count it a second time.
Well,
Bob, you're not answering the question. See how you're running? Listen to how you run. You don't want to answer this.
Anyway, I'm right
you
here.
Need to know. You're running off the question. You need to know
my own pocket
how much money is your pocket. Okay.
Yep.
Now, if you count it.
I keep track of my money.
And then you count it. Oh, please. And then
Sometimes
you count
I
it.
count it twice. Okay.
So if you count it twice.
Probably. If
I rest my case.
220 stuck together or something.
I rest my case. So now you got 2 counts, and they're drastically different. Now, would you count it a third time, Bob? Because you're $10 off. You want to know, do you have the 10 or you don't? Would you count it the third time?
Right, but yes, you should.
Okay, I rest my case.
They're only counting it in the Democratic stronghold.
That's wrong. They should do it everywhere. And you're right.
They should.
Yep.
But
absolutely.
now they're saying, well, that should have been said a long time ago. How can they tell what a person was thinking when they put a dimple?
Well, I know. Get away from the dimple. Get away from the dimple. We're talking about one thing at a time here. You want to go to this one little dimple thing. You're nitpicking on this thing. Let's get down to. Well, I know they are, but let's get down. The reason they picked these Democratic strongholds is because they were Democratic strongholds. They knew that, like Buchanan knew that he didn't get those other votes. Right, and so they picked those areas and say, "Look, here are the areas."
That's debatable too.
No, it isn't debatable because Mr. Buchanan, the candidate himself,
Bush and Gore. That's why
fine.
I voted for Nader.
But that's fine. But Mr. Buchanan,
people didn't have the same disgust.
Excuse me.
People can't change their mind.
Mr. Buchanan himself knew that area that we're talking about, which is very heavily Jewish, would not vote for him. He said it. He knew it. He spoke about it. And if you're not going to even trust the candidate who got the votes, I mean, what a great opportunity for him to say, hey, look at all of the people that are jumping on my bandwagon. See, I told you I had a good idea.
Well, what else is heavily in that area? There's a lot of Cubans in that area, too. But nobody's talking about that. The Cubans are mad at Gore and President Clinton for shipping Elion back.
How about Nader? You voted for Nader.
That's a big fact.
You voted for Nader.
And the Nader fact, too,
and
has
let me
a lot
ask
to
you
do
this.
with it.
Now, you're a Cuban. Hold on a minute. You're a Cuban in Florida.
Right.
And you have heard the Buchanan rhetoric, and you've heard the Buchanan radio spots, and you've heard the Buchanan TV spots.
Well,
and you're going to tell me that if a Cuban in Florida, you'd vote for Buchanan?
They said they didn't have a lot of advertising in Florida for Buchanan.
I rest my case. Thanks a lot. Got a last word?
I just think that the Democrats have no right to say what the people, were thinking when they didn't push the vote all the way through.
Okay, thanks a lot. All righty. Let me see. Jack is on the cell phone. Hi, Jack. You're on WPRO.
Yeah, how you doing, Dave?
Good.
Good. Regarding this recount in Florida, I think, I forget who the individual was, but he was part of a press conference last week. And he said, and I totally agree with him, that if someone is looking for a simpler method of accountability or a simpler method of voting or whatever, all they've got to do is go about 70 miles south of Florida, and you'll find yourself in Cuba. Mm-hmm. And they've got a very simple way of doing it.
It was a great line. I wish I remembered who said it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great line. Yep.
I think that this is a shining example of democracy, and I think that the American people should be proud of the fact that there are individuals who are willing to do it until you get it right.
And not be screaming that you want it like a pizza in 30 minutes, you know?
Well, the thing is, Dave, we are victims of instant-itis in this country.
Yes, sir.
We want everything instantly, from microwave dinners to instant gratification.
Hey, I'll bet you called me on a speed dial, didn't you?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's, we want everything yesterday.
All right.
And there are some things that have to go through a process.
Yeah, and we're not just not willing to do it because we don't really have any respect for how important this is.
No, we don't. And, I must admit that I am a Gore supporter.
Yep.
And I can't get the fact out of my mind that Gore, from what I understand, has the popular vote.
Well, let me tell you something. People call and they say, they'll say me if it's a Bush supporter and I argue with them, they'll say I must be a Gore supporter. Let's get something straight. It doesn't matter whether you are a Bush supporter, a Gore supporter, a Nader supporter. None of that matters at this point. We have to find out who the real winner is. And you are not, your attitude is not your attitude because you're a Gore supporter. You're a Gore supporter because you have that attitude. And
That's
there's
correct.
a difference.
Well, again, the last I checked, this country was of the people and by the people. So
allegedly,
if Gore has the popular vote, that takes precedence in from where I'm sitting.
All right. Thanks so very much for your
Okay.
call. Bye-bye. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 on your cellular one. And Fred is in Portsmouth. Hi, Fred. You're on WPRO.
Hey, how are you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a comment. Actually, it chimes in good with that last caller about this. I'm kind of tired of the we have the popular vote thing. If you look at the numbers, yeah, he has more votes, but when you're talking, what is it, like 0.1%? What has he got, 170,000 out of 100 million?
Doesn't matter.
I
Doesn't
wouldn't
matter.
pat myself on the back.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The majority is a majority. It could be one vote. Could be one vote.
Right, but you know what I'm saying is
No,
the
I
word
don't.
popular.
No, I don't. No, I don't know what you mean. No. What do you mean?
What I'm saying, well, let me talk. What I'm saying is, they try to say, like, hey, we get the popular vote. Yeah, you get more votes than the other guy, but when it's that tight, don't get so crazy patting yourself on the back that, predominantly the whole country wants us more than the other guy. I mean, yeah, I agree. The popular vote, if you didn't have electoral college, you should win. But I kind of get tired of them guys pushing that whole thing every other
Why?
sentence.
It's the truth. It's the truth, Fred. It's the
not
truth.
the-
Why are you worried about it? Why are you upset about it?
I'm not worried. I'm just.
Why is
kinda
the truth
sick and
upset
tired
you
of
so
people
much?
Saying, oh,
You mean
predominantly everybody else likes us more than you? It's not that.
Well, it is though,
100%.
Fred. It
It's
is.
not
They have the majority of the popular vote. Period. That's the truth. Why is that frightening you so much?
It's not frightening. Why are you using that kind of term? It's
Because
not frightening.
you're getting tense over it. It's reality. They have the popular vote right now. Right now they do.
Like it's like some huge. It's not like a huge difference, say, of like.
Well,
I
you
don't
know what,
say
Fred?
Reagan, Carter.
It is a huge
So
difference.
close.
It is a huge difference because it's going to make the difference between president and not president.
Well,
So
in
that's
that sense,
doesn't matter if
it's
it's
gonna
well,
make
all
a
right.
difference, but
All right.
not in the sense of majorly popular, like they're toting their banner. I mean, I just don't understand that at all. I mean,
You don't understand it because you're disappointed.
I'm not disappointed. I don't care who wins because.
Oh no,
disappointed in
that's
the whole
not true.
thing.
Fred, tell the truth. You're a Bush supporter, right?
No, I'm not really.
Fred.
I mean, I
Fred,
like Bush
come
better than Gore,
on.
but I didn't
All
vote for Bush.
Okay. Got a last word for me, Fred?
I just hope it's over soon so I can start watching regular TV.
Oh, somebody that's very deep. 43706. Deep as a dog dish.
Kane and Company. WPRO.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO, star 630 on your cellular one. And Greg's in North Providence. Hi, Greg. You're on WPRO. Hello. Hello once. Hello twice. We lost Greg, okay? See, Sandy's on WPRO. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, honey.
Talking about Florida, well, here in Fall River, there was a problem, too. There were people that couldn't even get ballots, and they didn't vote. One man had called up on a station that they had told him, and this was around at least 50 people, supposedly, that didn't get ballots to vote. Now, so if this goes on, I mean, I'm sure it's not only in Florida, it's probably in many places. And I'll tell you the truth, I would not leave that area if I could not vote. I would definitely want a ballot.
Yeah, well, you got to speak up.
And, they had told them ballots would be coming in, but they didn't know when.
Yeah.
And some of the people had to leave to, to either go to work or whatever else. And this is the problem. So I'm thinking, gee, if this can happen here, how many other places can this happen in?
Yeah, but the problem with that, not only is that bad, but the problem, of course, is that you have a situation where nobody gets to vote, get a vote, no matter who you're going to vote for. So both the candidates, or all the candidates, get screwed out of that one.
Right. I mean, it's just not fair, and be it one or the other, fair. What's right is right, and this has to be done. I know if I ran for president, for darn sure I would want this to be counted over again,
Okay, honey, I got to hold you there.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. 437-0630. I think I called for Greg, and then it was Lisa's line, and I apologize. I think I dumped Lisa by mistake. So, Lisa, if you want to call back, we'll put you up as soon as it's first up, okay? I apologize. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Lines are full right now. We'll be back on the other side of quick news headlines to keep you informed. 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO. And here's Lisa now. Sorry, Lisa.
Oh, that's okay.
Go ahead. What's up?
I was calling to talk about the popular vote.
Yeah.
People keep talking about Gore having the lead nationwide in the popular vote. But if people don't go into the voting booth thinking that they're going by the popular vote, they won't vote that way. I know a lot of people in Rhode Island would vote Republican, don't bother because we always go electorally to the Democrats, so they don't feel there's any need for it. They also had people that were trading votes.
Wait a minute. Back up. Let me understand this. You're telling me that as a Republican, you're going to go into the voting booth and you're going to vote for Gore?
No. They don't vote at all.
So?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're Bush supporters, but in Rhode Island...
But how silly is that?
It may be silly, but you can't say that...
Yeah, but if it's silly, then why would you think that was a good idea?
That what was a good idea?
Not to vote for your guy regardless of where the electoral
I go
votes.
vote. I'm talking about people are going by a popular vote retroactively. People didn't vote that way. You know that it's going by electoral vote. It always has.
I disagree totally. I don't know what you're talking about.
It doesn't go by electoral vote?
No, I disagree that just because you know the state's going to go electorally for a candidate doesn't mean that you're going to go in and not vote for your guy anyway. That's ridiculous.
Well, that's the way people vote. There's
How
a
do you
lot
know
of people...
of tell me two people that do that.
Well, I'm not going to name anybody's name.
They're idiots. They're idiots.
Well, so are the people in Palm Beach that didn't know how to follow the arrow. No one wants to come out and say that, but please. The other thing is the people who are swapping votes. They were saying, okay, they're online saying, we live in Rhode Island, we'll vote your native vote. If you out in another part of the country, we'll vote Gore over there. Instead of both people voting Nader or both people voting Gore.
So?
Because they know they're going by electoral, not by popular.
So what? It's your franchise. You can do what you want with it. Why is that bad?
Because people know in advance that they're not going to count the popular vote.
And so online, and by the way, they stopped this because it's against federal law, but or tried to stop it. But the point is that I can do that. I can say to you, listen, I make a deal with you. You vote for Gore, I'll vote for Nader. You'll help your guy in whatever area, and I'll help Nader get his percentage. I mean. I don't see anything wrong with that.
In Florida.
So what?
We're harping on the popular vote in Florida.
So what? I don't understand your point. So what?
My point is that it doesn't go by popular vote normally, so people don't vote that way.
But that's not what you started.
You can't retroactively say, yeah, let's go by the popular vote this time.
Nobody is saying that, man.
If you want to change the constitution. A lot of people are saying that.
Nobody is saying that. Who counts? Nobody who counts. Only whack job people who don't understand the Constitution are saying it. But it's got nothing to do with the issue here. And you're telling me that a Bush supporter goes in and because the state's going to go to Gore, he's not going to pull the lever for Bush.
How about Texas, where Texas voters knew that the state was going to go? Republicans in Texas didn't have to necessarily go out and vote for Bush because they knew their state was going to go to Bush. It was a slam dunk. Now, if they knew that nationwide they were going to count up all the popular votes, they would have gone out and voted for him to make sure he had every number possible nationwide.
I can't imagine somebody who believes in a candidate not voting for the candidate regardless of how the electoral vote's going to go. Regardless, put it in anyway. I don't understand that. That's defeatism and foolishness. It is. It's absolute foolishness.
No, it isn't. That's the way people vote.
No, it isn't.
There's a lot of Democrats that don't bother.
You don't know. First of all, you haven't been able to point. If you know two people who did that, you tell them they're idiots for me. Idiots.
Well, there's a lot of idiots involved in this, and everyone wants their to count.
All right. Your last word?
I guess.
And I said, have you got a last word?
No, I don't have a last word.
Okay, fine. That's an interesting concept. Well, we're not going to win anyway, so I'm not even going to put a team out on the field. It's all done. Where are we? Ethel's in Cranston. Hi, Ethel.
Dave.
Hi.
Oh, this is getting too much. I'm laughing, really.
I mean, these people are voting for president.
And they won't go in there? Oh, my God.
They're not going to. No, I'm not going to give you the. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction.
Oh, boy. That won't stop me.
Idiocy. All right.
Okay, you said something about why is everybody in a hurry?
Yes.
Okay. There's only one person. Well, I shouldn't say one person, but there's one person that really, really is pushing this, and that's Bush, because he's got his cabinet already in place.
Well, no, he doesn't have it in place, but so what? I mean, listen, he should be.
Because he knows in his mind he's going to win.
Well,
he knows.
Well, he may.
I hope not.
Well, but the point is, he should be working on a cabinet because we don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, we have to have this stuff done. This is about the presidency of the United States.
No,
I have no problem with him.
People in place.
I don't have any. I don't have any problem with him getting his team together.
I was watching this until 9 o'clock last night because they were recounting. Okay, by hand.
Yeah.
And they said in 1 hour it would be completed. So I'm waiting. I'm up all hours, right? It's 10:30, and they said at 10 o'clock it would be completed. 10 o'clock it was not completed because I waited until after 11.
Right.
And, I'm not getting much sleep because of this, but I don't care. It's exciting.
All right, honey. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Chuck's in New Bedford on WPRO. Hi, Chuck.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Making a quick observation here. First off, I think it's more important that we teach a lesson to our children who are paying attention to this, which is a good thing, that we got to do this right.
Yes.
Not quick, but right. That would be nice.
Yep.
And as for the rest of the world, what they think, that's their problem.
Yeah, who cares what they think? And first of all, we're showing this is how it goes. We're doing it with ballots. We're not doing it with guns.
Exactly. One thing that has offended me in all of this is the reference by some of our conservative friends to the people down in Palm Beach as idiots and stupid and everything.
Senile and everything else.
Is that an example of what's called compassionate conservatism?
I think it might be. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up.
Bush, quickly close with this. Bush has a problem here. He keeps saying he trusts the people.
Yeah.
Well, do you or don't you? And as for Jim Baker's comments about machines are only as good as the people who run them, who program them, and who maintain them.
All right, thanks a lot.
Take care.
Bye-bye now. Kevin's on WPRO. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, how you doing?
Good,
I want to echo last guy. I think basically civility is winning out here, other than maybe a few picketers down there.
Yeah.
I hear you keep saying, I want to know, and yesterday you were talking about hand count's the way to go, even though basically most people agree that hand counting is less accurate.
No, that's not true. I'm sorry.
Well,
sorry. Excuse me. That's just not true. It's just not correct. No, it isn't correct because
have
the
you
people.
Heard the way they had to interpret the different things today on Sunday morning shows.
Excuse me.
Excuse completely different.
A hand count is more accurate. Period.
It's not when you're looking at those punch things because you are interpreting dimples.
I didn't talk about interpreting dimples. I'm telling you that it is absolutely accurate to do a hand count of those ballots that are not challengeable. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but that's not what's going on, and that is, I think, what people understood would happen when you get into the subjective nature of a hand count. What's challengeable is even subjective.
Fine, so what? But this is an election. Of course, it's going to be subjective. You think you're going to have? You think you're going to have a machine? You want to put it in the hands of a machine that isn't even going to register your vote? How about those chads? How about those chads that are still hanging? And let's talk about your vote. Your vote.
I don't even know whether my vote. Well, I think I voted properly, but I could have made a mistake too.
Okay, so
and I won't know that. I did a mail-in ballot.
So wouldn't
I won't
you
ever know? But I accept the system for the rules.
But wouldn't you? But given
down.
the opportunity, wouldn't you like to be able to make sure that your vote went where it's supposed to go?
I would, but you can't do that.
No, you can do it. We are doing it. We are doing it right now. We're doing it right now. And my question to you is,
did you hear how they're doing it, sir?
Yeah, I did. Listen, you guys are frightened to death. You're frightened to death. You obviously voted for Bush. You obviously voted for Bush. What a surprise. Listen to you guys.
Sir, let me finish. Suppose Gore wins by 100 votes. Which of the three do you use?
You do it again. You do it again until you have something that matches.
Which one do you use?
You do it until you match. You do it until you match.
You do what, 2 in a row that match?
Yep.
That makes sense to you.
Absolutely.
You keep going until 2 in a row match.
You do it until you have something that you can depend on. You absolutely do.
But how can you? I mean, do you take the average of all the hand counts?
No. What did I just
count?
tell you? What did I just tell you? I told you very simply.
2 in a row that count.
Exactly.
That are exactly the same.
Or at
you
least
think
as
that
close.
Will happen?
Well, I don't know if it'll happen. I'm telling you. Ask me a question, and I'm telling you. I don't care how many times we do it. I want to know who the real president is, and I don't want any of this stuff.
You will never know because there's a subjective nature to interpreting a punch ballot.
You know what? The people who are sitting there interpreting punch ballots are representative of both parties.
I totally agree, but that doesn't mean they're going to get it right.
Well, I can't help your faith.
They're as accurate as a machine.
I can't help your faith. That's up to you. Got a last word?
No, I just saying I think we've proven that it's as accurate as a machine.
Okay. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Rick, I don't know what you did. The whole screen's disappeared here. I don't know who's where, so give me somebody. Oh, there it is. Okay. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back. Hey, if you're looking for a place to take care of your car, I mean somebody that's not going to be smarmy with you and say, well, maybe I can squeeze you in, and maybe I can fix it, and maybe I can, and if I can, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. I want you to call my buddy Zeke at Fiore's Automotive. He's on 1 Plimpton Street in North Providence. This is right across the street from the North Providence High. Here's the phone number to call, 831-9292. 831-9292. His name is Zeke. He's a super guy, and he does all kinds of repairs. He's just got a little, 2-car garage there going on. He's an independent guy. He does a very good job. He used to own Branch Avenue Shell. So he's got lots of background, lots of knowledge, and he can do everything you need. He can do it at the price is right. And not only that, he's going to back it up. You're going to love this guy. He's a super guy. And he's very trustworthy. But most important, he's very competent and knows his stuff. Zeke at Fiore's Automotive, 1 Plimpton Street in North Providence. Here's the phone number to call, 831-9292. 831-9292. You tell him Dave Kane sent you. You'll be glad you did.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO. Star 630 on your cellular one.
It's a neighborhood.
And Danny's on WPRO. Hi, Danny.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, sir.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Good to have you.
I only get a few minutes, but I want to make 3 points and then I'll listen.
Okay.
The first point is, I agree with you on the part with the Chads. What happens with these cards is if it don't punch all the way out, they were not counted by the machine. Then they stack them back together, and they almost put the punch back in the right place.
It seems like that,
That's why they're putting it up to the light.
Right.
So now you got both representatives there to say, yeah, it's a vote, no, it's not.
Right.
That's the first point. The second point is, as far as them people, the discluded votes in Florida, I think it's a real issue because these people, 90% of them, 19,000 votes, are punched in Buchanan and Gore spot. How can they just assume that, don't count that vote?
Yep.
These people intended to vote for Gore. There's no doubt about it. I don't care what anyone says. You can look at it and say, if he punched 3 spots, then, he really didn't know what he was doing. But these people really went in there, and they wanted to vote for Gore. And if that's the way it is, that's too bad because in the end, it's going to look like Gore should have won.
Well, we'll see what happens. And you got another one for me?
Yeah, the last point I had was as far as the Electoral College.
Yep.
I don't know that there's a way that you can change that because the most popular states with the biggest votes need to have the most electorals. And maybe in the end, when all these recounts are done, the way they were projecting it last night, if Gore ends up taking New Hampshire, taking Oregon, and holding on to Wisconsin, even need Florida.
All right. Thanks a lot, Danny.
All right.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Mary.
Dr. Moss.
Hi, honey.
Happy full moon.
Same to you.
I seen him this morning smiling to me.
Yeah, pull your pants up.
The thing is, it's easy to make mistakes. We have to have patience, but it's harder to correct them.
Yes, and we got to keep at it. Okay, baby.
No big deal.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let me see. Joe is in Providence. Joe, you're on WPRO.
How you doing?
Hi.
First, let me tell you how I voted.
You got to speak up for me, Joe.
First, let me tell you how I voted.
Okay.
I voted in Mass, by the way, okay?
Yeah.
I voted Democrat all the way down the line with the exception of Bush.
Yeah.
And that was due to the issue of abortion.
Okay.
Full-term abortion.
Yeah.
Now, we're Veterans Day yesterday and everything else. A lot of people died for the right to vote.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's number one.
Yes, sir.
So it should be one man, one vote.
Well, that's what I talked about yesterday. You know, Veterans Day was a wonderful day to have that conversation because there are so many people who are in the ground now fighting that we have a real election.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important.
And here we are going to third world countries and straightening out their right to vote.
Yeah, like we know.
why can't we do it right?
Right.
The other thing is, I think something good might come out of this. I think there should be a universal ballot when it comes to the presidency. Either connect an arrow.
Yeah.
Forget this punching crap.
Yeah.
Either connect an arrow or make an X.
Yes.
Go back to simplicity. And that'll stop all this aggravation of who punched what where.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
And if the arrow connects, it connects.
Yes.
It's simple.
It's real simple. That's an easy one, huh?
And just do it that way. Get back to a universal ballot, especially when it comes to the presidency.
All right. I thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. 437-0630. 1-800-321-WPRO. Mike is in Warwick. Hi, Mike. You're on WPRO.
How are you?
Good.
First, let me just tell you where I'm coming from. I am uncommitted. I don't vote Democratic or Republican.
Okay.
I vote for the person.
Yeah.
And I absorb as much information as I can, and then I make my decision.
Yeah.
Now, this all happened, and I go into it totally objective, and I absorb as much information as I can, and then I make my decision of what side I'm going to take. And I heard last night on the radio that, again, I'm not taking any sides, but I just giving you some information. 6 o'clock, an hour before the polls were supposed to close, somebody high up, either high up or down below in the Gore administration, had said something about some problems about these punch cards, and they, in 45 minutes, made over 5,000 phone calls to people, took their names and addresses, and urged them to complain.
Right.
Okay?
So
I got a little bit of a problem with that.
Why?
Now,
why?
Okay, well, I'll tell you why in a minute.
No, tell me why now. Why?
Well, I think that now they went both. We all know that it was the Democrats who designed this card.
No, it was both parties that designed it, but go ahead.
So going into this, they knew that there could be mistakes. There could be polls that weren't punched correctly. Okay?
No, if they knew that, then
went into that.
Well, all right, so fine.
Then they both go into that, and they realized that there could be mistakes.
So when they realized it was a mistake, what's your point? Get to the point.
The point is that they both knew the pluses and minuses.
So then they realized that it was going more minus for everybody than it should have, and so they made a move. So what?
Well, I'm just saying that's. I mean, that's. I don't know. It just doesn't. It seems a little funny to me.
Why?
It just does.
If you think you're being beat out of votes, and you're going to let people know that this got screwed up, even the people that ran the polling place put up signs at 4 o'clock saying that there was a problem. So I mean, I don't have a problem with. Why is that a problem? I don't get it. You're out to win the election. You're not out to hand it over. So you get on telemarketers and you let people know maybe your vote didn't count.
Yeah, well, I just have a problem with that.
Why? I'm still waiting to hear why you have a problem with it. Why?
Because I don't think it's right.
Why?
Because it's not right, because they both knew that going into this, it was going to be...
Why? Excuse me, the people that made the calls had no idea.
In other words, there's rules that are taken. There's rules.
They had nothing broken.
There could be problems with it. Okay, well, there's going to be problems with it, and we have to live with what...
No, that's not what they agreed to at all. That's not what they agreed to, and it's not the way they did. They never designed the ballot knowing there were going to be problems with it. They assumed there wouldn't be, or else they never would have designed the ballot that way.
Well, there's problems with all other ballots, and nobody's made this big rigmarole.
No, that's not true. There's been many, many challenges to many ballots across the country in many elections over the years. Of course there has.
Well, then the thing about Bush, like everybody says, we shouldn't have got an injunction. Well, I mean, what is the guy supposed to do? Is he supposed to say, okay, you count, and then you let me know what the count is?
Yeah,
if
how about that?
If you're not happy with it, you keep on recounting.
Yeah,
and I'll
of
be
course.
sitting,
That's exactly right.
at home, and I'll sit at home and let me know if I won or not.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what both of them should do. Because you know what? That's what this election is about. Let you do the real recounts, find out what the real total is, and then let me know if I won. That's exactly what should happen. That's exactly what should happen.
So you keep on counting it until it comes out.
You count it until it comes out right. At least, I mean, right.
Who's challenging?
Excuse me.
Who's challenging? Who's challenging the count?
You count it.
Who's challenging the count? The person that lost.
He hasn't lost it yet. Because it hasn't lost it yet because the final tally hasn't been
who's behind?
designated.
Who's challenging?
Of course, if you think you're getting cheated out of votes, you're definitely going to challenge
Mr.
Gore. Absolutely.
So you keep on challenging it until it comes in your favor.
Hey, Mike, let me ask you a question. Would you challenge it if you were winning?
Absolutely not.
Well, all right, I rest my case. Use your brain. Okay, got a last word? For somebody that analyzed it, I'm waiting for an analogy that, I'm waiting for it. I didn't hear it, but go ahead.
Hey,
give me a last word.
Just keep on counting, and may the best man win.
All right, thanks a lot. Don is in North Kingstown. Hi, Don. Whoops, excuse me. Hold on a minute. Here's Don. Hi, Don.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Dave. Hey, I was calling because a few minutes ago you had a call around a woman that was suggesting that people shouldn't be considering the popular vote because people vote based upon the Electoral College, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess you said the people that do that voted based upon the Electoral College, you called them idiots, didn't you?
No, I said people who... No, what I said was that people who for instance, let's take Rhode Island, okay? Rhode Island was going to be a Gore state.
Without question.
Okay. So if I'm a Bush supporter...
Yes.
And I go into the booth...
Yes.
I'm going to vote for Bush anyway.
No.
No?
No.
Why?
Because you know damn well that Gore's going to win in the state of Rhode Island by a landslide.
So what?
So you vote for Nader because you want him to get at least 5% of the vote.
That's your run of it. That doesn't mean anything. I'm talking about those people.
Why are you telling me it doesn't mean anything?
No, because it's not about what she's talking about. What she's talking about...
Wait a minute. It is exactly what she's talking about.
No, because she never mentioned Nader. She never mentioned an alternative vote.
She mentioned that people go in there determining that they're going to vote based upon the Electoral College
She wasn't talking about an alternative vote. She was talking about throwing in the towel on her own candidate because she knew the election.
In her mouth.
I didn't put any words. She
suggested that people would vote based upon the Electoral College.
I don't put anybody's words in anybody's mouth. I gave her, and I give everybody the opportunity to make their own stupid point.
Well, then
and
let's make a point.
She said she was not going to vote, or she knew people that didn't vote for Bush because the Electoral College was going to go to Gore. There was no mention of an alternative vote or an alternative party from her.
Her entire point was that people go into the voting booth understanding that they're voting based upon the Electoral College decision, not the popular vote. That was her entire point. She used an example
and
of
then she proceeded to say, therefore, she knows people that didn't vote for their candidate because they had already thrown in the towel on the vote.
And I'm one of them, so I'm making my point.
Well, that's fine, but don't make her point for it, Don. Make your point.
My point is, I and a lot of people may have voted for Nader so that he'd get that 5% instead of voting for Bush. A lot of people thought Nader was going to steal votes away from just Gore. But I think he took votes away from everyone.
Okay, fine. But that wasn't her point. That's your point. That's fine. But it wasn't hers. I was dealing with her point, which was, I'm not going to vote for Bush because it's going to be a waste. That was her point.
Well, she was, if you come from Rhode Island, you know it is a waste because you know Gore's going to carry it.
But it isn't a waste, sir. For you to suggest that your opinion and your vote is a waste because you're not going to win is hideous. You vote your conscience. You vote what you think is right, regardless of the outcome.
And I did. I voted for Nader because I thought that was important.
Well, there are a lot of people in this state who would have said to you that you're wasting your vote because Nader's not going to get the electoral vote in this state. So why would you vote for Nader?
He didn't have to get the electoral vote. He only had to get 5%.
Based on that theory that she presented, Don, that's exactly what people would tell you. You wasted your vote.
But I didn't.
I agree. I agree.
There you go.
But so your premise is what I'm saying, which is it isn't a wasted vote. And it isn't a wasted vote if you voted for Bush either. Because if that's where your heart and your mind is, that's who you should have voted for.
My heart wasn't in any of them. The only guy that showed any intelligence was Nader. The other two guys seemed like megalomaniacs.
Well, that may very well be. But my point is to say that if you think that guy deserves your vote, whoever that person is, you should vote regardless of whether they're going to win the election. That was my point. All right, let me give you your last word.
Last word is you seem prejudiced towards Gore, obviously.
Hey, Don?
Yeah?
I voted for Nader. Steve is in North Kingston. Hi, Steve.
Who, me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. What's the matter with me today? Steve. Hi, Steve. You're on WPRO.
Hello?
Hi.
How's everything?
I give up. What do you want?
I'll tell you what I want. You just listen. I'm sick and tired of you and John DePietro criticizing the elderly. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
First of all, I haven't criticized anybody. See, now, this poor bugger. I rest my case. You haven't heard me criticizing the elderly. You haven't heard me criticize anybody. Shame on you, Steve. You haven't heard me criticizing the elderly. Good Lord. Oh, my Lord. How frightening. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 on your Cellular One mobile phone. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock this afternoon. He's all upset. What's the matter with that boy? All right, let's try this now. Joe is on a cell phone. Hi, Joe.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Quick point. Talking about the Electoral College and that whole issue. Everybody knew what the rules of the game were before they went into this election. Nader, Gore, Bush, everybody. The bottom line is the Electoral College is the way the president's going to be chosen this time around. Not saying it could be different next time around, but this time that's the way it's going to be. The main point that I want to make is the reason there's such a huge issue is because this race is so incredibly close. Absolutely it's the most incredibly close election in U.S. presidential history, as far as I can tell right now. But that's not going to change the fact that whoever wins Florida ultimately is going to be the next president.
Mm-hmm. If Florida is in play.
I.e., what does that mean?
Well, i.e., what that means, if for some reason...
Therefore,
I understand what i.e. means. I just never heard it spoken to me. I think that what happens is that what if they threw out the Florida electoral votes?
They won't.
I know, but I'm just saying, so that's my point. Okay, got to let you go. Got a last word?
Hey, may the best man win.
All right, thanks very much. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your Cellular One mobile phone, you and me on the radio, until 1 o'clock this afternoon. News time is up next.
I'm Colleen Lima, WPRO First News. It's coming up on 12:05, Kane and Company with your host, Dave Kane, continues on News Talk Radio 630 WPRO.
Is there any pizza left?
I think there may be a piece.
Because I saw Rick just devouring. It was like a vacuum cleaner on that pizza.
I had a couple of pieces. Pieces of pizza?
Yeah, pieces of pizza. You could say that and ruin a career.
Kane and Company is adult in nature and is not suitable for all audiences.
Never ask a lady.
The content of this program is one that a truly free society would not attempt to censure or suppress.
I'm gonna sit.
Hey, would you like a piece? Don't slap my face. I meant a piece. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock this afternoon. How's about you? Lots of people on the line. We're talking about, of course, the election. And we're going to get right to the phones. First of all, let me remind you, however, that Santa is arriving at Warwick Mall Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Saturday morning at 10 o'clock at the Warwick Mall Food Court.
I'll be glad.
You're going to have a great time with the good old man. He's going to do a show, and you're going to really enjoy yourself. That's Saturday morning, 10 o'clock at Warwick Mall. Don't miss it if you can. And Joyce, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Joyce. You're on WPRO.
Hi, how you doing?
Good,
I just want to say, first of all, I did vote for Gore.
Yeah.
Regardless of who I voted for, I think that if the situation were reversed, they would be checking the votes also.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know, in the beginning, it's a state law to Now people just want things done right away, and that's just not the way it should be. It should take their time, regardless of who it is, and let the system run its course.
I agree. I mean, it's so odd because for some reason, well, I mean, I know the reason. I mean, we're just a fast food country, man, and everything's got to be, I don't care if it's the right guy or the wrong guy. Just give it to me now.
It's ridiculous, right? I think it should just be done fair and, count until it's right, and that's...
I agree.
Okay.
Thanks for your call.
Thank
All
you.
Right, bye-bye. Here's Janie on the cell phone. Hi, Janie. Hello? Oh, now we lost her? Gotcha. Okay. 437-0630. Where is, hold on a minute. Now here's Joyce on WPRO. Hi, Joyce. You're on WPRO.
Hello, Dave.
How you doing?
Fine.
Whoops. Go ahead.
Okay, just want to let you know I've been listening to your show part of the morning here. First-time listener.
Yeah.
I've been station hopping, and I've got really into your talks with the people calling in.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel they're all really talking from their heart.
Yeah.
And I just want to let you know that I work in a very, very big place. It's a 24-hour facility. Mm-hmm. And last night, just out of curiosity, I got to asking people if they voted or not. And I really got caught up with the people who hadn't. And I kind of said, if you had the chance now with what's going on, who would you vote for?
Mm-hmm.
And their answers were, really surprising. And the second question I had asked them was, do you have any friends or relatives down in Florida? And how are they feeling about this?
Yeah.
And the answers that came back from most of them were, you know what, a lot of them with that premature Gore took Florida, stopped a lot of people from going to the polls.
Well, that's ridiculous, and I'll tell you why it's ridiculous. First of all, I don't believe it.
Right.
And the reason I don't believe it is because it wasn't just the presidential election. There were bond issues, there were local elections, and if these boneheads allowed themselves to be talked out of going to the polls, they were looking for an excuse not to go.
I follow you.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to tell me that because your candidate A was projected as the winner. I mean, this kind of defeatist, moronic, oh, well, I'm not going to get my way, so I'm not playing the game attitude is hideous.
Well, you know what my third question to him was? What about our next election? Are you going to be out there to vote? And the answer to that was almost 100%. I'm going to get involved. I'm sorry I didn't get involved in the past.
And I think this is going to be the byproduct.
This was probably it's not a good thing, but probably the best thing that ever happened in the country.
Well, it's true. And you think of the things in your life, Joyce, that you've gone through. You thought at the time, oh, my God, how am I going to live through this? And you realize later how much you've gained from it.
Exactly.
And this is really, I think, more people understand Electoral College, the Constitution, how things are done, why they should be changed, all as a result of this.
A lot of people did not understand that when they went to vote, it wasn't their vote going directly to elect the president.
I know. It's so amazing.
You're right. It's really bringing forth, you know what? There's a lot of compassion out there. And if you watch how these two men are reacting to this, you know, you can almost guess what their answer was as to who they would vote for if they had a chance. If we were to do a second election across the United States right now, who they would vote for.
All right, Joyce, thanks a lot for your call.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Keep up the great show.
Thank you, my
Bye-bye.
dear. Paul is in Providence.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
What's happening?
Guess where I'm calling you from?
A brand new phone.
No, no, I didn't even think of that, actually. I'm calling you from work.
Oh, because
I got the radio on while I'm working.
Oh, but I can hear you clearly now. Whatever you,
I'm using my boss's phone. I'm sitting in my boss's office using his phone.
There you go.
Don't come in here.
There you go. You need a new phone at home, Paul.
Yeah?
Yeah. What's up?
I've had that phone for 20 years.
I know. I can tell. What's up?
Well, I'm just calling you from work, and you got to stop it. You got to have some fun on the weekend. This should be a fun show. Saturday and Sunday, it's the weekend. Time to lay back. Take it easy. Forget about the problems of the week.
Yeah, well, normally we would do. Normally we do that a little bit, but the trouble is this is very serious stuff.
Oh yeah, but see, I agree with you. What is the big hurry? Why can't people wait a few days?
I don't understand this.
Everything has to be now. Like the fast food, like you can't wait in the line at the bank or the
Jet 1 hour cleaners. Sure, I may write my column about that this week for OSO. I may write this about our fast food attitudes and how it's going to bite us in the butt on this issue because we're rushed to judgment. Because we just want it now. I had a guy call me yesterday. Remember, he said, "I don't care who the winner is. I just want to know now."
Well, the thing is, we have to elect the right person. You don't want the wrong president because there was a mistake in the voting, and you don't want a president because it was a mistake. You want to make sure the right guy is in there.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. I don't care who it is as long as the right president gets in there.
Well, the person that was elected. Right. But you don't vote, Paul. You got to start voting.
Well, I don't know.
You got to start. I'll cut the baloney. You know what, Paul? I'm very deadly. I'm deadly serious about this.
I know, and the seatbelt too.
But people.
Well, maybe I'll meet you halfway. Maybe I'll use my seatbelt.
Paul, people gave their lives. I'm very serious. People have given their lives so you'd have the right to vote.
I know that.
You are really
right.
no.
Steve, I'm not saying I'm right by not voting. I'm probably wrong.
Doing it. But stop doing. Get in there, babe. Get in there and vote. Listen. You don't realize. I know you're not embracing this in your heart. Veterans Day was yesterday. These people were cold and worn and tired and died so you could vote. And we can't be frivolous about this. It's very serious. Please, show me some depth. Get your butt in there and vote.
Well, it's kind of too late now. I got to wait another 4 years.
Well, no. There's going to be a 2 year. In 2 years, there'll be a midterm election. You can get involved.
Oh, well, I'll vote for Cianci.
Okay, buddy.
I like Cianci. Cianci rules.
See you later. Bye-bye. Cianci rules. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your Cellular One mobile phone. And it's you and me on the radio until, until 1. Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO, star 630 on your Cellular One. Going to hop on the line with you. And anything that's on your mind, we'll chat about it.
Time to decorate.
Hey, my buddies Bob and Vivian Bartlett are out at Superior Interiors, and right now They've got a 25% off sale on all Brewster wall coverings. Oh, my heavens. Wait till you see the selection of wall coverings and wallpaper and laser borders and so much more, all from Brewster Wall Covering. I mean, they got Andover and Beacon House and Burge and Mirage, J. Chesterfield, Foremost, and lots of other names, all from the Brewster house. And when you see the selection, the books, I mean, everything you could possibly want, you're going to get from Superior Interiors, Route 1 North Attleboro, just north of Emerald Square. Give them a call, will you? 695-2528. 695-2528. Superior Interiors.
We're superior. Superior Interiors. Your place for everything. For everything in your place. We're superior.
437-0630, telephone number to call. Brad's on a cell phone. Hi, Brad. You're on WPRO.
Hey, hi. How you doing? I've
Good.
been listening for the last couple of days, just off and on. Question about what's your opinion if you believe that after the recounts come in and the absentee ballots come in, should it stop right there? Should it be whoever shows up as the winner? Is that the end of it, or do we keep going from there?
I think we should have a vote. I think we should have a count until we know who really won. I mean, we should have at least get a count that has to do with the reality. Don't you think?
Well, I agree, but let's say these 4 counties come in, or these 4 areas where they're counting, and that, and then the absentee ballots come in, and that doesn't go the way of the Gore way.
I don't care where it goes. I want a real count. I want to count it twice until we get the same number.
Okay, I understand, but now let's say that happens. Are we going to count other counties? Do we go to other counties?
Well, they've just decided they're going to count all the counties, isn't they? All the districts. They're going to call. Well, no, they're going to do all the districts. Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, I think they should. Sure.
But you see where I'm going, right? You see where I'm going?
No, where are you going?
Well, this is kind of getting to be like when we were kids, when you'd say, "Okay, now let's you lose one, let's go."
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Because no, not at all.
7 out of 10.
Not at all. Not at all, because first of all, the votes are already showing themselves to be skewed. So it isn't about, well, this was a real count and you lost. This is about but it isn't about that. Let's get to the real count.
Well, I agree with you, but what I'm saying is we started with 4 counties, right? And we're gonna count those. Let's say we count those, and let's say that produces X number. And then the absentee ballots come in, that produces X number. Do we compare the 2 X's, and then whoever is the winner is the winner? Or
no, what you do is you count them again until you get the same number someplace.
No, but I'm not talking about discrepancies in numbers. I'm talking about on this next count.
But that's what this is about, sir. It's about discrepancies in numbers. It's not about whether or not somebody wins or loses in the count. It's about getting a count that stands, whatever that count is.
That's what I'm saying. When is the last count going to be? That's my point.
Who the hell cares? I don't care if it's, I don't care if it's the 31st of November, 105th. Who cares? I don't care. Why are you in such a hurry?
I'm not in a big hurry. I'm saying I just don't see where it's going to end. There's got to be an end point.
It will end when we get a real count. It will end when we get a legitimate count, no matter whose side it is.
But that's what I'm asking you.
I said to you, we get it when we have 2 counts that match. Every time we count, we get a different number. The analogy I've made, if you had money in your pocket, you were going to dinner, okay?
Right, and you count your money.
Right, I mean, wouldn't you count it until you were absolutely sure how much you had?
Yeah, I count my money. I see your point with that, and I listen to that, and I understand that. But let me ask you this now. So we're counting the votes in Florida because we're concerned that there's a problem there. Well, how many times do we have to count the votes in Iowa or Oregon to make sure we got the right number? Because I guarantee if you recount it right now, you don't get the same number. Is that correct?
That's okay with me.
No, but you see where I'm going? I mean, how far are we going to go?
No, where I see you going is that you're in a rush to get an answer. And what I'm saying to you is that you are rushing something that's too damn serious. And you have to be ready to do 14. All right, so there it is. That's your answer. We do it till we get it right. Period. Okay, we do it till we get it right. Period.
I agree with you.
All right, that's the answer.
Okay, but do you see my point, though?
No, I don't see your point.
What we're going through in Florida...
No, I don't. Bob, I don't see your point.
No, Brad.
Brad, I don't see your point. No.
Well,
your suggestion is how many times? I don't care.
Oh, okay, but my point is, now that let's say we go through all this in Florida, and let's say it changes the way of the vote away from Bush to Gore. Now, let's say Bush says, well, I think that such and such state was so close, I want to recount there.
He's entitled.
I think
he's entitled.
Okay, but are we going to go through all 50 states like that?
Maybe.
And you keep saying, how long are we going to wait? I mean,
no. You said how long are we going to wait?
No,
I said I want an answer.
I'm sorry, you're right. You said we should wait however long it takes. Are we going to wait 2 years for 50 states to go through individually hand counting 100 million ballots?
First of all, it isn't going to take 2 years. But thanks very much for that cleverness. But listen, I don't know what your rush is. My point, you keep telling me, are we going to wait? What difference does it make how long it takes?
I don't know. I just.
What do you got? You got to promise someplace? You got to be somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, figured. Yeah, your life is so important. It's more important for you not to be troubled by this. Or as the guy said a couple of calls ago, he wants to be able to watch real TV. I mean, there's
that's pretty ridiculous.
All right. Well, it's not far from yours. This is about the presidency of the United States, the leader of the free world.
Well, I agree with you there.
All right. So stop with this. How long is it going to take? I don't care. I want a real answer.
Yeah, but I agree with. I see what you're saying, and I understand the importance.
All right, well,
of the
then that's all I got to say. Give me a last word.
Last word is I don't think we ought to spend as long as it's going to take, like 2 years, 3 years to go through all these. My point is are you going to go through every state like this? That's really my point.
Right. Bob's in Attleboro. Hey, Bob.
Hey there, Dave. How's it going?
Please, you got to move this along because I
got to move it along.
What's up?
Well, I was thinking today, I went to vote the other day, and I voted independent. That's what I always do. But, I was thinking, David, why don't you and I go down to Lasla and check out the lights?
Bye, Bob. See you later.
Yep.
Bob's in Taunton. Hi, Bob.
Hey, Dave?
Yes.
Hey, listen, I was trying to vote for Adolf Hitler, but alas, his name wasn't on the damn ballot.
Oh, this is George in Pawtucket. Okay.
So I decided I'm going to vote for Bush. I had no way I could vote for Gore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his vice president is Lieberman. No, Gore gets bumped off. Israel takes this country over, So I figure, what the hell, vote for Bush.
Well, thanks for your anti-Semitic remarks, George. I appreciate it.
I figure I spiced you up a little bit, huh?
No, you didn't. You took the average IQ of the caller and dropped it 4 points. But thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Fine. What an idiot. God almighty. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. It's amazing to me how anti-Semites think that anti-Semitic humor is entertaining. 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO, star 630 on your cellular one. And Jay's on a cell phone on WPRO. Hi, Jay.
Hi, how you doing?
Yes, sir.
Well, I just actually turned on your station. I've been listening to you guys all week. I'm not actually familiar with your show. What's your name again, please?
Dave.
Hi, Dave. Am I to believe that you actually? I mean, I'm not for rushing this either. But am I to believe that you actually believe that the Democrats are basically picking out these precincts in Florida because of anomalies such that a libertarian gets 10,000 votes, and they want to recount that because they I guess divinely believe that this libertarian shouldn't have got those votes. Am I to believe that you believe that? I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I watched all the TV shows this morning. I couldn't even believe that. This guy Warren Christopher comes on. He won't even take what Jim Baker was saying. Let's just let the recount go, count the absentee ballots, and take whoever wants and go ahead. That's just crazy to me. Is that your position?
You're calling to give us your position, Jay.
I'm asking you yours. I just turned this on, and I don't know what I'm asking.
Well, first of all, before I've answered, you've drawn a conclusion on my answer, so there's no reason in my answering.
Actually, I've asked two questions. Is that your
you drew a conclusion. You said that's ridiculous.
Well,
first of all, I haven't even answered you yet.
I apologize.
No, your mind is closed enough. Your mouth is open. Your mind is closed. Make your statement and then be gone.
Oh, no. My mind is perfectly open.
No, it isn't. No.
I'm very interested in what you think.
No, you're not. That's okay.
Yeah, I am, honestly.
No, that's okay. Got a last word?
My last word is I just hope that when Al Gore does manufacture this election because of his campaign manager whose father manufactured the election in 1960, I hope we all basically stand up and say that he's no longer the president, and he shouldn't be the president, and he's not even a man, nor a statesman. Thank you.
See, there's a nice open mind for you. See what I mean? No sense in talking to that guy. Not interested in the rights of others. Not interested in the real vote. He's not interested in anything. He's interested only in getting his guy in. That's fine. That's fine. It's okay with me. And he's the only one that has the answers. Nobody else got the answers, just him. Glenn is on WPRO. Hi, Glenn.
Are these people going out for pizza? I mean, like, I got to get the guy in.
I know. Just a minute, and they're just so crazy.
I know. I mean, I don't care if it takes 6 months.
Poor Jay, like, I'm going to waste my time with that guy. You know what I mean? Please. I got real people to talk to.
And they want real TV back.
What's up, babe?
What's up is I really can't understand why they can't have a standard ballot.
Well, they can. They can. The trouble is, it gets into this separation, federal, state, et cetera, et cetera. It gets crazy,
I'm just saying 19,000 people can't be wrong. This thing obviously is not a user-friendly ballot.
Well, they can be wrong, but the problem here is, let's assume for a moment that everybody, all of the 19,000 were complete dunderheads, okay? Yeah. Let's assume that they're morons. Let's assume that they screwed up because they just don't have it. Let's start there.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with the ballot if that happens. It's got to be something that is an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah.
All right? So there it is. So you got a percentage of our government, a percentage of our electorate who just don't get that ballot. Fine. Then let's change the ballot. Hello. And for two reasons. Number one, so that I get my vote. And number two, so that Mr. Gore's people can't have something that looks legitimate by way of a challenge. If you have it set up so that you can't challenge it because it's a stump could do this,
right?
Then you take away this challenge, don't you? So it's real simple.
Mm. But I mean, I was listening to Myrna. She says that she used to be in design, and she said it's a poor design.
Well, yeah, but that again, there you go. So I mean, whether you figured it out or you and I get a puzzle, okay? You figure it one way, I figure it another. You win, I don't. The puzzle is either very convoluted and tough to do, or it's easy to do.
Mm.
We can't have our ballots being puzzles.
Yeah.
Got a last word for me, or you got what else?
What else is and I'm not just saying it because of this time, but I've always been against the Electoral College since we have radio. The presidency has been a national media event since radio began, even before television. You had the syndicated network. So I just think that's
Okay, buddy.
Pretty much.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye-bye. George is on cell phone. Hi, George. Hello.
Hello. You have Michael from Attleboro.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay. Threw me off my train of thought there. Okay. I have one problem with your analogy about counting your money, and that would be, I would count my money 10 times to make sure it was correct too. But I really wouldn't want Joe Malacone counting my money and telling me how much I had. What I'm bringing up is, I believe the more times those ballots are handled, the more prone they are to being contaminated.
Well, if Joe Malacone were handling your money privately, you might have an analogy. But the trouble is that Joe Malacone would be handling it in front of everybody and his brother. So these ballots are not taken into a closet someplace and somebody counts them. It is the most open process. It is the most scrutinized process. There are television cameras there right now. There are people who have vested interest standing around. There are people who have vested interest in our country standing around. And these challenges are wide open. So your analogy falls apart. But what else you got?
Do you actually believe that there is no such thing as voter fraud?
Not in front of God and everybody. No, sir, there isn't.
I don't know. Maybe not in front of God, but anyone else is pretty mortal. Okay, just wanted to see how close your mind was on that.
I'm not close at all. I'm telling you,
Sure
you're looking at. Excuse me. Voter fraud doesn't happen out in front of God and everybody, sir. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, get a clue. If there was any voter fraud, it happened before this whole thing started. I didn't tell you I don't believe in voter fraud. I said
more prone to happening before it started. Sure. So why don't we just go back and make sure everyone that voted is actually registered properly to vote?
Okay.
Like being a citizen.
And that way, and then we'd be all set, right?
Well,
we'd be all set.
If you're going to go to one extreme, you might as well go to the other.
It's okay with me.
Okay.
Well, I want the real president, George. I don't want just somebody. I mean, Michael. I want the real president. I don't just want whoever you want just because you want.
No, that's what I want too.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot. Now here's George on a cell phone. Hi, George.
How are you doing today?
Good.
I guess the only concern I have is that it seems like the whole idea. I get a ballot in the mail. I live in Rhode Island. I got a ballot in the mail that basically said, here's the ballot. Here are the counties. I mean, these are the things that you're going to be voting for. And it's my understanding, based on the endless number of talking heads that have been on for the last week, that they received the same type of mailing saying this is the ballot that you're going to see. The ballot is reviewed by, I got to believe at least 15 or 20 people from each party. Mm-hmm. And I got to believe that there are people out there a lot smarter than me and a lot smarter than the average people, and especially people that are experts.
Well, let's hold that concept for a second. Now, let me understand this now. You think that the people who designed this ballot and who wrote off on this ballot were smarter than you?
Well, I mean, no, I guess...
No, wait, Joe, no, come on. You just said to me, you've got to believe that these people are smarter than you.
Much better educated and much more experienced.
And so you think that all of the government, programs are run perfectly right?
Oh, absolutely not. Of course
well, then how can you then take the concept that the same dunderheads who are involved in government, who have a vested interest in politics, have decided correctly to design a ballot?
Then you know what? My point is that it was out there. This wasn't a ballot that was revealed.
All of that is charming, but again, you're telling me that these people are smarter than you. And maybe they are, if that's what you think.
Well, fair point. You got me on that one.
But they're not smarter than you. They're human beings, George. And a committee can get together. It's like a committee can get together and decide that this is the way we're going to do something. And how many times have you been the victim of a committee deciding, and in your own job, you say, now, why the hell are they doing this? It doesn't make any sense.
Fair enough.
Right? And you had a board of directors who decided this was a good idea.
Well, right now I'm a Gore voter that almost wishes I'd have pulled the Nader vote.
Well,
the whole thing's driving me crazy.
Well, I know, but see, again, it's driving you crazy because you want an answer. You don't want to wait.
No, did you have the one thing that I don't understand, and the problem I have is this, the guy from the left gets up and he quotes a statistic, and the guy on the right gets up and they call each other liars, but no independent party comes out and gives you the right number.
Go ahead. The question is?
All right, they said that in this election they had roughly 19,000 ballots that were thrown out.
Well, they weren't thrown out. They're challenged in one form or another.
They were double punched, or there were mistakes made.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, well, that was my understanding.
Yeah.
Then they had this guy Wexler on, who's a liberal congressman.
Yeah.
And one of the reporters or someone challenged him and said, where was all of evidently in the same community, there were roughly 15,000 in the election of 96.
Yeah.
And I guess the question was pointed out to them: where was the outrage when those 16,000 votes? Mm-hmm. When those people
those are moot points to me. I mean, the fact that I didn't do something last week and I'm smart enough to do it this week, you don't drag me back to last week. It's like walking through a meadow where the cows have been, and now you know where the dung is. You walk around it.
But at least answer. That's the one question that's driving me nuts.
Well, I'm sorry it drives you nuts because it's got nothing to do with the issue. It's got nothing to do with the reality. The reality is it doesn't matter what we screwed up on last time. Let's talk about this time. I mean, maybe we learned from the last time, right?
Evidently not. It's the same ballot.
All right, Judge. Got a last word for me?
Yeah. In all honesty, I want them to get it right. If it takes a week, if it takes a month, but just do me a favor and keep Agala off and keep all these other... Just report the news. I don't want to hear their opinions.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Done.
All right. Frank is in Franklin on WPRO. Hi, Frank.
Hey, how you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Hey, my only issue with the recount is that my understanding is the ultimate people that will make the decision are 3 Democratic elected officials.
No.
And that's not true?
No.
Okay, because that's what I've been hearing on a lot of the talk shows.
Yeah, no.
So it's open as it's open, bipartisan.
On the count you're talking about now?
Well, I'm talking about when something is actually challenged and it's brought before. I believe they said it was a committee of 3, and those are 3 democratically elected officials.
Yeah.
And that's my only issue. If that's the case, then how can it actually?
No, that isn't the case. Especially now with this recount and with the challenges and everything. There's people from both sides and independent people and people just wanting to watch this thing. So that's not going to happen.
Okay, and then if that's the case, then I do think they should throw Florida open to a complete recount as opposed to doing it in a couple of Democratic areas. And I think that window of opportunity has passed.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, too.
Bye-bye.
Kane and Company. WPRO.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO, star 630 on your cellular one. Listen, Revote 2000. Do you think there should be a revote in the state of Florida? Well, WPRO listeners can get their vote in and cast it on www.630wpro.com. That's right. Go to www.630wpro.com and find out. We'll find out from you if you think there ought to be a revote in Florida. You know, you could win a trip to Orlando just for voting. Win a trip to Orlando just for voting. Go to www.630wpro.com and listen to WPRO, of course, for updates. All right, Richard is on a cell phone under WPRO. Hi, Rich.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, sir.
Before I get to my point, I want to say that, and this is facetious, that Bush has an ox to Gore, and Gore's beating the Bush for votes.
Thank you very much.
Now, wait a minute. Let me get to my point.
Yep.
I'm talking about the Electoral College.
Yep.
And I want to say a kind word about it. Its original intent, it would have apportioned votes among the candidates. In other words, let's take the state of Maryland, 10 votes. Gore got 57%. He would receive 5.7 electoral votes. Bush got...
listen, I'm going to hold you, Rich, because, this stuff is all going to, just go over everybody's head. Let's get to your point of it.
Well, if it were back to the original intent, there would be 100, and I did this numbers. I did 100. There would be 248 votes for each Gore and Bush, and 15 plus electoral votes for Nader, and 11 plus electoral votes for everybody else. Now, if the intent of the Electoral College, the original intent, were carried out, either Gore or Bush would have to make a deal with Nader.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a coalition established. And the people who voted, say, for Nader or for those other candidates, if they came into play, would actually have a voice in the vote. As it stands right now, it's like a big poker game, and it's winner take all. Now, the original intent of the Electoral College was for proportional representation of those votes.
Okay.
And so I want to say a kind word about the Electoral College, and what we've done is defeated the original purpose.
All right, Rich, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me see here. Phil is in Pawtucket. Hi, Phil.
How you doing?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
I think the electoral college vote should go. Because a lot of people are going to be left out. One of the reasons I did not vote.
Wait, you didn't vote?
I did not vote.
Why?
Because it wouldn't count.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah,
First of all, you didn't just vote for president. You voted for many other things. You just didn't vote for anything.
Yeah, I didn't vote because I know.
Well, that's silly. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I'm not the only person that...
I don't care. There's a lot of ridiculous people, but it's ridiculous you didn't vote. There are many other issues. There were bond issues in Rhode Island. There were statewide issues in Rhode Island. There were state offices in Rhode Island. And you just walked away from your vote. No, it doesn't count because you didn't cast it.
No, the reason is because you guys know who holds, just like the ballot, they always know who's going to win.
Okay, Phil. You know what? I'm that's hideously ridiculous, and I'm sorry you feel that way. Give me your last word, please.
Give it an electoral vote to let real people vote.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. The idiocy of somebody not voting. You should be ashamed of yourselves. That's like I'm going to take my ball and go home. Only it isn't your ball, and the game goes on. Idiocy. Fred's in Cranston. Hi, Fred.
Hello, Dave.
Yes, sir.
You're dead wrong.
You got to speak up for me, sir. Speak up.
Dead wrong.
Yeah, you're
in
almost
the
dead.
election commission that is now sitting, counting the ballots, whenever there is a challenge to a ballot, not only to the validity of the ballot, but who the ballot represents, what vote the ballot represents. When there is a challenge, it is put before the committee. The challenge is made by one of the individuals that are sitting doing the counting, and a majority of the election commission determine not only if the ballot is valid, but who the intended vote was supposed to be for on that ballot is done by majority, and the majority
ago referred to about the government in which all people, quote unquote, have a say. That's a parliamentary form of government, and we do not have that in this country. Mm-hmm. That's more common to Europe, and Israel specifically is an example of a government that has it. What I think a big misconception that people have in this country is that we have a democracy. We don't. We have what's called a republic.
Yes.
We have there are two bodies of government that are meant to balance each other out, so to speak, to get some of this proportional representation. One, and it happened in the Virginia Compromise in the late 1700s. One, we have the Senate, in which all states have equal representation. All states have 2 senators. And on the other hand, we have the House of Representatives, in which states have power that are proportionate to their size. So that is the body of government where people have power proportionate to the size of the state and according to their local will. The presidency does not operate like that.
Thanks, Scott.
But I have one more thing to add in about...
Running out of time, quickly.
Okay, to defend the Electoral College, we have a utilitarian system in which the majority rules, but the Electoral College protects against times when the majority is wrong. There have been times in our history and in the history of the world when the majority has been wrong. One of them is for slavery. The majority before 1860 supposedly wanted slavery. The Electoral College could provide a check against a presidential candidate or against ideas that the majority might support, but in the end are not fair to all.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
Okay,
appreciate it. John, real quick, I got about a minute.
How you doing, Dave?
Good.
How about if they threw out the whole state of Florida and just counted what was left over?
No, can't do that.
No?
No, because the people in Florida don't get their vote. That's why they're doing a recount. I mean, you can't just say, oh, you don't count. I mean, how about a guy in Florida who just went and voted like you, and now your vote doesn't count?
No, you're right there. But the only reason being for saying that is because there's family ties in the state of Florida.
Yeah, well, there's family ties every week. Come on. You know, I mean, get serious, John. You know, you can't just say, well, the hell with it. I don't like your vote, therefore you're going. It doesn't make sense.
Well, all I know is something's very fishy throughout the whole thing, and we should have a president by now, and I just don't like the way that those 19,000 votes were.
Well, we'll see what goes on, but I mean, we're going to find out what the deal is here.
And if for what it's worth, I think maybe those people should have a revote if they can't decide.
Well, let them recount the whole state and start from there.
Well,
and then the
I hope to God that they can resolve this, because I just think Mr. Bush doesn't want to appear as a sore loser when this is all said and done.
Well, it doesn't really matter. It's about the leader of the free world. I don't care what people look like. I don't care what Gore looks like, or him, or anybody else. It's immaterial. I mean, it's really immaterial. This is about all the beans.
Yeah.
Right?
And who's going to be in charge for the next 4 years?
Exactly.
And let's face it, in 4 years we as voters will decide if we want him.
But it isn't just, as somebody called earlier said, it isn't just about the 4 years. It is about. You ready? It is about the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court may find itself, in some very serious problems.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot, John.
All right, we'll see you, Dave.
See you later. Bye-bye now. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one mobile phone. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock. Speaking of going to 630WPRO.com, listen to this. You can revote 2000. Now, listen, should there be a revote in the state of Florida? Do you think there should be a total revote? Well, you can vote for that on www.630WPRO.com. That's right. You can go there right now, and they've got an opportunity for you to decide whether or not there should be a revote in Florida. And just for voting, you would be eligible to win a trip to Orlando. That's worth it. So if you're online right now, you're going online today, go to www.630WPRO.com and vote in the Revote 2000. See if Florida should start over. And just for making your vote on that revote, you'll be eligible to possibly win a trip to Orlando, Florida. Wouldn't that be great? And listen to WPRO for updates and details here at 630 WPRO. Speaking of listening, Have you given in to yourself yet about your hearing? I know relatives, friends, everybody's jumping ugly with you, saying, you really got to get a hearing aid. And you're afraid. You worry about the cost. You're worried about getting the right one. You worry about if it's going to work or not, if you're going to invest all of that money and then be stuck. Well, I've got the answer for you. Bob Fraser at Fraser Hearing Centers. Now, listen, they're at 15 Washington Street, Route 1 in South Attleboro. Here's a guy who you can absolutely trust to tell you exactly what you need to do. He won't sell you what you don't need. He won't tell you anything that's not true. He'll support you, and he will help you know exactly what you need to know. Here's the phone number to call. 1-800-445-8015. 1-800-445-8015, Fraser Hearing Center. You can check around, you can check the prices, but most of all, do yourself a favor. Sit down with Bob. Have a conversation with him. Let him tell you what you need to know. You'll be glad you did. Fraser Hearing Centers. Be sure to tell him Dave Kane sent you.
You're listening to Dave Kane on WPRO. 437-0630. 1-800-321-WPRO. Or star 630 on your Cellular One phone.
If ever you should happen to be going to Garmisch-Partenkirchen town, I tell you it's the cutest little town.
Just about 5 minutes left before Tata's, so you can sneak in if you'd like right now.
When you meet the people here in town, they say
and make your point.
How do you do?
Don't forget, this conversation is going to be going on all week long. Nothing's going to be settled for some time now. And you can voice your opinions with Steve Cass tomorrow morning. Myrna Lamb middays. And, of course, Dan York from 3 to 6 on WPRO. I'm still trying to figure out why anybody would not vote. I'm still trying to figure out why people would not vote. It is astounding to me that someone would not vote. What a travesty it is and a disservice to themselves. Judy is in Wakefield. Hi, Judy.
Hi there. How are you?
Good.
I'm calling because I think there should be an absolute revote in Florida.
Okay.
There's just too many discrepancies in between the voting ballots and so many things.
Well, you go to www.630wpro.com and you vote. Maybe you win a trip to Orlando.
Well, that'd be nice. More important is how do you? I mean, most people feel there should be a revote, right? Because I hear a lot of people say no.
Well, I don't know,
including my own husband.
Yeah. Well, we're just starting this online. We're just starting to ask this. But I think I'd like to get is just a real count.
I understand.
I mean, a real count, something we can trust.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that number again was?
Well, you go online.
Yes.
At www.630wpro.com.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
And we'll see you.
Bye-bye now. All righty. Yeah, you can do that if you're going online. You can do that, and we're going to have this revote. We're calling it Revote 2000, asking you if you think there really should be a revote in the state of Florida. Personally, I would be satisfied with a count you could trust. And with ballots, you can figure, well, yeah, that looks pretty good there. I mean, that's what I'd be satisfied with, but, what do I know? But if you would like to go to www.630wpro.com and vote, you might be eligible to win a trip down to Florida, and you could slap those people around personally, right?
Who listens to radio? No matter if it's summer, winter, spring, or fall. Who listens to radio? Only 150 million people. That's all.
You're listening to Kane and Company. Join Steve Cass Monday morning at 5 for news, AccuWeather, and AAA traffic on News Talk Radio 630 WPRO.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO. Star 630 in your cellular one. This has been one hot weekend. You know, yesterday morning, Dan was on live local at 9 a.m. until 1, and his lines were jammed up and jelly tight for the whole 4 hours he was on. And then I came on. I was originally supposed to be on for 3 hours. And we were so busy with it, we decided, well, we'll give it a shot. We'll stay on another hour, and I was jammed for that extra hour. And all morning today, of course, all today, we've had the same situation. And we should. This is very, very important. This is very, very real. This is what you're calling, well, what you'd call history in the making. And you are there. There are a lot of emotional issues on this. There are a lot of political issues, a lot of partisan issues, a lot of legal issues. But I am really surprised at the fast food approach that people are taking and the depth of some of the callers, like the bonehead that calls and says, well, I'll be glad when I can get back to my regular TV programs. It reminds me of when John Kennedy was assassinated and they broke into the soap operas, and NBC got a scream of women calling, not wanting to have their soap operas interrupted after hearing that Kennedy was assassinated. Never underestimate the stupidity of the American public, I guess. Well, that's it for me today. Rick Shaw is officially off duty. I invite you to get on the line for your tatas at 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your Cellular One mobile phone. And don't forget, we're going to be continuing this all week long. You're going to get a chance to talk about anything you want as it pertains to this election. You want to get your more than 2 cents worth in, you do it today. Or actually tomorrow morning at 9, all right?
Hello? I must be going.
At 5, excuse me.
I cannot stay. I came to say I must be going. I'm glad I came, but just the same, I must be going.
For my sake, you must stay. For if you go away, you'll spoil this party I am throwing.
I'll stay a week or two. I'll stay the summer through. But I am telling you, I must be going.
All right, boys and girls, mom and dad, children of all ages, let's do this properly. Hello, hello.
Yeah, wake up, you fools, and see what's happening to your lives.
Hello, hello.
Suppose they gave an election and nobody came.
Ooh, baby. Hello, hello.
Hey, Dave, your show's a big hit up at the ACI.
Oh, good. Hello, hello.
Ta 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 ta
ta ta ta ta ta ta. Hello.
We learned a lot from this reflection election.
Oh, baby. Hello, hello.
I think this is a conspiracy to keep Clinton in office for 4 more years.
It could be. Hello, hello.
Hey, Dave, my life isn't an optical illusion.
Hello.
Some people in Seekonk want to get in touch with the Electoral College to get the students come and fix their street lights.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I vote for Dave King for Fag of the Year.
Oh, good. Hey, let me think what my platform should be, huh? I don't suck? No, I got And in the end, boys and girls, the love that you take from this world is equal to the love you make in the world. Thanks very much for being with me. See you again tomorrow morning. See you again Saturday. Be the good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. Thanks very much to Rick Shaw, and most of all, thanks to you. Without you, where would we be? I know where I'd be. The place having lunch like a real person.
News Talk Radio 630.